Moves.
We want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
And now it's time for the voice.
Don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I want you to get up right now.
Go to the window,
Open it.
stick your head out and yell.
Hated man! Top of the world!
The voice of Ocala with Buddy Martin.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini.
Hello, welcome to another week of The Voice from Ocala. Voice of Ocala, or The Voice in Ocala. Take your pick, A, B, or C. We'll go with all of them. Good to be with you on another weekday, 3 to 6 right here on The Source. I'm Buddy Martin, the host of this show. We go 2 hours with news, views, interviews, comments, and we do sports at 5 o'clock every day. And so we're glad you're back with us on the program for another week. Hope you had a great weekend out there. Today is a spectacular day, 69 degrees, light breeze, blue skies, sunny skies, the kind of days you just absolutely love to have before summer. And, of course, we've got some great stuff coming up this weekend, including the great Gatsby Extraordinary Extravaganza Friday night and at Ocala Municipal Golf Course this weekend. And one of the really terrific events I think that we have in our town, Symphony Under the Stars. If you haven't got your tickets to that, I urge you to do so. It's a terrific day for mom and the children and the grandchildren. The Martins will be going back again another year to take part in that. Coming up in the show today, Lori Martin Gregory will be in the house to talk about Iron Man 3, fellows, and I think she really, really liked it. I have not seen it yet, but I hope to be able to do so after I see Great Gatsby. And also, Dr. Buddy is just sort of running hard today, but he asked that we poll the troops on this topic and see what everybody thinks. What is there about the fact that your wife, your date, or significant other hates your cell phone and doesn't want you to ever answer it, but whenever hers rings, it's okay? What's up with that? On my segment, More Than Rumor, what is up with the new drainage project at Silver Springs, or the new sewer project, water project at Silver Springs we read about last week? I got a bunch of questions about that, and I got some friends who also got some questions. And on my segment, More Than Rumor, I'll be asking about what's going on with this new big plant they're putting millions of dollars into at Silver Springs, and yet converging sewer from several places as it goes through there, and how's that not going to taint the ground? I don't know. I'm just a country boy from Ocala. But at least I'm going to ask the questions. We'll check the headlines. I understand Wells Fargo and Bank of America under fire again about the mortgages. Looks like those folks are in for another tough time. And you know what? That's what happens when you do wrong. Hey, Hunter Thompson Turner's favorite player, Joakim Noah, he had to crack open his chest and show the rest of the NBA slackers what a real heart looks like. In a season where they're falling like flies, all the stars seem to be brittle. Joakim Noah goes into Brooklyn with his team, guarantees or at least predicts they're going to win. And not only do they win and win the seventh game and now have to earn the right to face Miami, which is not the greatest thing in the world, but nonetheless they earn the right to do that. Tremendous night for Joakim, very spirited play, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 6 block shots, and some terrific passes. I don't even know how many assists he had, but he had some really good ones. So, what a night for Joakim. The Kentucky Derby, I got nothing. Is my Golden Sense horse still? Oh, here he goes. He's still running. I see him out there right now. I got nothing. But then a lot of people didn't. Orb surprised a few people. I think Augie Ryder might have mentioned he liked him a little bit in our session last week, but Norman Invasion, I think, was the one he and Michael Compton were on. We'll have Michael Compton today. I had lunch with him, and we'll talk about more about the Derby, what happened there, and what's next coming up in the Preakness. Meanwhile, controversy in NASCAR going on. A lot of stuff this weekend. Tom, you can talk about that. And also, a guy who ranks like something like 1,200th in the world.
Who?
Derek Ernst.
Who?
The wins in Charlotte. Somebody basically made a wrong turn and wound up winning the tournament. So, yeah, that's his name, Derek Ernst. So, anyway, that's what's happening on our agenda today. How's everybody's weekend?
Mine was painful. Is it not on?
I don't know.
Is that on now?
There you go.
There it goes.
That's all right. Yeah,
Mine was painful.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a flare up there, didn't you?
MSG is not a good thing.
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wasn't too good for some people. Wasn't too good for Carmella, I can tell you that.
No, not yesterday.
Unless you're a writer for the Boston Globe, then it was pretty good for Carmelo.
Yeah, I suppose.
No, don't get me started on that.
We'll say we'll reserve that for our comments during the reference being who got the MVP and who voted for LeBron and who didn't. But we'll talk about that in the Sports Hour. I know, Hunter, you were happy with your boy Joe Kim going off.
I sure was. I thought it was a lot of hard. You know, he's been playing wounded, basically on one foot, and I was really impressed with the heart that he showed. And I think it'll continue against Miami. I don't know if they'll have enough to get past him, but I know he'll give it all he's got, like he always does.
Correct me if I'm wrong, JJ. You're the NBA expert here, but another guy in that game had plantar fasciitis. Didn't do quite so well, getting paid a lot more money than he was, and the fans in Brooklyn are not real happy.
Chicago.
I'm sorry, Chicago. No. The guy from.
Who are you talking about?
The guy who. What did Johnson go? What did he end up doing?
Oh, Joe Johnson?
Yeah, he has plantar
I
fasciitis. No.
I didn't know what games you were
No, I'm talking about Joe Johnson.
Yeah, Joe Johnson gets a fat paycheck. What did he end up going for the last game? Let's see. Joe Johnson had 6 points.
Yeah, I got the stats
2 for
you here.
14.
I'm saving them for you here in the stats.
1 for 9.
Yeah. So he was 2 for 14 in Game 7, and he's due the next 3 years. Look it up. I want to say $19 million or something is due the next 3 years.
Well, he was one of the big name free agents this offseason.
Yeah, he was a big name. Anyway, study up on that. We'll talk about it in the Sports Hour. So I'm just saying, two guys had plantar fasciitis. Joe Johnson and Joe Kim Noah. Look how different they played. One's a hero, one's a goat. That's how it is sometimes.
Wow, Johnson's contract.
Yeah, look at it. I told you it's huge. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about what's going on with the banks. You know how big banks, not my favorite people out there. And Wells Fargo and Bank of America under fire once again. I got a list of facts called OMG Facts on the website. Sleep habits. Really interesting. I thought I might be the only one who does this, but apparently it's done quite a bit, how your sleep patterns go. And I'll tell you a few other things, like including John Wayne's scenes were all shot in the morning. I'll tell you why. Coming up next right here on the Voice of Ocala. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. A power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that the important medical research that's being done here right now will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't know that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. And you can be part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception. We'd like to send an opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Want to quit smoking? Volunteers should be between the ages 18 and 75, current smokers who smoke 10 or more cigarettes a day and are motivated to quit smoking. Qualified participants receive study-related material care and may be compensated for their time. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Hello, Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day, whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands. At Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, it's our business to make your business better. Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA, The Source.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that is really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news talk and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Hey, Larry, nice haircut.
Oh, thanks, Robin. Looks like you had something different done, too.
Yes, I did. Thanks for noticing. I went to Lupe at Merle Norman on the Boulevard for a fresh cut, some summer highlights, and a facial.
No kidding. That's who I go to. I didn't know she did all that.
She does coloring, waxing, styling, updos, microderms, and she does it all for prices that won't break the bank.
Sounds like you can take the whole family there.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Hi, this is Lupe. Let me be your personal stylist. To set up your appointment, call me today, 426-1229.
Hi, I'm Ernie Sprantz. Join me weekday mornings at 10:50 for Report to Consumers. Consumer news you can use from your hometown station. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
WOCA.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by Country Club of Ocala. The Marion County Board of Commissioners indicated it would revisit its management strategy for the Kearney Island Recreation and Conservation Area, a 601-acre county park along the western shore of Lake Weir. Commissioners in recent weeks have been focused on the renewed potential of Silver Springs to attract tourist dollars. Now the Commission apparently wants to find a way to do the same for Kearney Island, the largest facility in the county's park system. This news break was brought to you by the Country Club of Ocala. If you would like to schedule a special event at one of Ocala's premier facilities, call 237-6644 today.
Hi, welcome back on a Monday to the program. Larry in here with his camera. I don't know if he's trying to get the goods on us or what, Hunter. I'm not sure.
He's not going to get much excitement.
That's right.
Covering my face here. He and Robin, of course, every morning on AM Ocala Live. Larry Whittier. And by the way, this week we will be at the Marion Theater broadcasting on Friday for the big party, the Great Gatsby Extraordinaire Extravaganza. I call it extraordinaire because I think the whole movie's extraordinary. The whole thing. And if you want to see a movie about the excess and luxury, go see this one. I'm looking forward to it. And even if the movie's not great, I'm okay with it. I love F. Scott Fitzgerald. So, as I said, Larry Martin Gregory will join us at 4:15 to review Iron Man 3. Apparently getting a lot of good reviews. People seem to like it a lot. And coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll revisit the Derby. Winner was Orb, and not my horse Golden Sense. Hope you did better. The thing about banks, we went through one of the darkest period in our country's economy. The Great Recession, as it's called, and a lot of it was because of the thing we got in trouble with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the banks and the excess lending and all that sort of stuff. And we all know that story. And then it seems like finally some of the banks were real culpable. Now, people who took the money, they certainly had part of that. But there were some charades going on, shell games going on with the customer. And consequently, there was, on the parts of the big banks, there was negligence and, if not outright fraud, and the government has told them that they're going to fine them. A huge fine coming up. A friend of mine I know has a mortgage, or had one, I guess, at one of those banks, and he said he got a notice quite some time ago that the government was going to want to know if he was wrong and if what he'd get a settlement check for part of that. So they don't send out checks unless they know they did wrong. Now, here comes the latest news on that. Wells Fargo and Bank of America under fire again. The New York people, I'll say what you want about New Yorkers, they don't take anything, any guff. And they know something's going on funny up there. So the Attorney General, Monday, today, accused Wells Fargo and Bank of America of violating the terms of last year's national mortgage settlement by failing to process hundreds of refinancing requests promptly. Now, it's bad that they did this wrong once, and now there's a settlement going on, and they're doing something wrong again. The Attorney General's name is Eric Schneiderman, notified the National Monitoring Committee was established to enforce the agreement, citing complaints of 210 prompt processing violations by Wells Fargo, 129 by Bank of America. If the committee defers taking action, Schneiderman said he will sue for compliance. When will they ever get it right? Let's talk about sleeping. You think about it, we spend a third of our life basically. If you sleep 8 hours, not all of us do. You spend a third of your life in bed. That's why people spend lots and lots of money for their mattresses, because they're there a lot. And everybody has different habits. Some people sleep on their back, some on their side. Some people go to bed late, some people go to bed early. Some people snore, some people don't, what have you. We all have our little, some people like 2 pillows, some people like 1, some people like none. Are you a 1 pillow man?
Have to be 2.
Me too.
Because I gotta have something under my arm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Something in between.
Yeah.
My sleep is gonna catch up to me when I'm older, because I don't get a lot, but I'm fine.
Do you have apnea?
I feel good.
Do you have sleep apnea?
No,
How do you know?
Go to bed late, and I don't wake up in the middle of the night, but I wake up early in the morning.
But you don't know when you really wake up, because if you take a sleep test, and I've taken them, I was shown to wake up to sometimes 30 times in a minute. Okay.
How does that even?
So I mean,
I can't even back asleep.
Because you're sleeping, but you're waking up. I mean, there's a number out there that I ended up. have a mild case of sleep apnea. I've never had a problem sleeping in my life. I can sleep anywhere, anytime. But I went and had it tested. Spent all night in the clinic, and I found out that I was a candidate for sleep apnea. Now, why that's important is that if you don't take care of it, your system can shut down while you're sleeping. You stop breathing. Sleep apnea will make you stop.
That's why they have those goofy masks.
That's correct.
Right.
And that's what keeps you breathing regularly.
Right.
So it's not something to mess around with. Now, having said that,
yeah, there's those people you hear them sleep and you're like, that's awful, man.
And snore.
You're not even breathing.
Yeah, and it's tough. But here's the thing this is about. I don't know the sleep out. You don't know. When I fall asleep in my chair, if I'm watching TV about, say, 11 o'clock or 10:30, whatever, and sometimes 10 o'clock, I never sleep as good in my bed as I did in that chair.
Ever?
I mean,
oh my God, my lazy boy! I could sleep there all day long.
I just don't want to get
TV
up.
on, lights on, doesn't matter.
See, and I have a lazy boy.
Mm-hmm.
Can't sleep. It's very comfortable. I love sitting in it and everything. I'm a stomach sleeper. I couldn't sleep in my lazy boy.
Couldn't do that. You couldn't sleep in your. No, that's
drugs.
not going to work. Sleeping in your stomach on your stomach and your lazy boy.
No.
I don't know.
I think that so many people are having problems with sleeping nowadays. They have. I just saw it advertised. People will take NyQuil when they try to go to sleep.
I know.
Obviously not good for you.
No.
Now NyQuil's came out with something that's just for sleeping.
People take Benadryl,
You don't have to
people
have a
take
cold or anything.
all this sort of stuff, and as Laurie will tell you, that's not good for you.
No.
But anyway, so we do what we can to get a night's rest, and so my wife said yesterday, I think I'll just start leaving you in a chair because I sleep so good. And I said, maybe that's what it should do. Now, when I sleep there, I am like out, and I'm so rested. Now, lately, in the last year, when I do that, I'll go to bed, and at 4:30, I'm up. I'm up, and I got to get up. I can't stay in the bed. I get up. I walk through the living room. Don't turn any lights on. Look around. Go to the clock. Make some hot water and lemon, not coffee yet. Walk around. Go lay down on the sofa. And sometimes I go back to sleep, and sometimes I don't. And I thought,
Your wife has to deal with this every day.
Well, but I'm quiet. I'm respectful of her. I don't wake her up. So here's the deal. I thought, well, this is odd. Who does this? Well, apparently, this has been around for a long time. I'm reading today on this OMG Facts. Waking up from a deep sleep may seem like one of the most unfortunate things ever, but people as recent as 100 years ago would do it on purpose. A citizen would fall asleep for a few hours, wake up approximately 1 hour, then go back to sleep for the rest of the night. Historians have come to a few conclusions as to why, and they have various theories, but apparently some people use this time at night for peaceful time to pray, reflect, interpret their dreams, which were more vivid late at night than they would be in the morning. Now, do you remember your dreams? You guys remember your dreams?
Sometimes. Very small details, not the whole thing.
I don't ever remember all of my dreams.
No.
You remember bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Hunter, do you?
I've gotten these dreams where I'm walking, so they're very vivid.
Yeah.
And I literally wake up when my feet are pointing toward my window, like when I walk out the window.
No
Absolutely.
kidding. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what dreams mean. I would like to have, but I don't know.
To me, dreams mean I drank too much last night.
Yeah, well, you can't do that. That dehydrates you. And so, anyway, this is apparently something that people do on purpose. And I started reading more and more on about it. And I got a feeling this is what Thomas Jefferson did. When I saw his bedroom in Monticello, I told you guys, I figured out who he was because you get a poster bed, separated two rooms. On one side of his bed was his dressing room and his fireplace and all the things he needed to get up. And the other side was his desk with his telescope, his pen, his lantern. So he got up at 4 o'clock, and what did he do? Turned the lantern on and started writing, right? Whatever he did. So I get Thomas Jefferson. So this is something that's been around. So I guess I'm not the only one who does this. It's been done by a lot of people, and even over 100 years ago did it. All right, that's fact number one. Secondly, what you got, JJ?
We got a call. Hugh.
Oh, all right. What's up, Hugh?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, I wish I could tell you that I was the winner at the Kentucky Derby.
Well, I wish you would have been.
My wife, the way she gambles, she selected all the Green Bay great quarterback numbers, 4 for Farr, 15 for Starr, and 12 for Rodgers. And number 4 came in second place. And if it wouldn't have been for the winner coming from way behind, she could have won that Derby.
How about that?
Yeah.
You know what? Her system works as good as anybody else.
Exactly.
That's why I say pick a horse. That's what's fun about the Derby, because you don't have a track record to go by except a few races, and anybody can win, and the favorite doesn't ever win.
I couldn't believe how wet and muddy that track was. I
couldn't believe how that horse ran in the mud.
Yeah, honest to God. And he set a record for the first quarter, didn't he, or something?
I think so. Well, he didn't. I don't think he said it. I think the group, the horse, the pace of the race did.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
But he is a classic mudder. that he made a terrific run there at the end. It came from out of nowhere and right to that bud, and a brilliant run by the jockey, Rosario. So it was.
The reason I called real quick is that with the sleep thing, I wanted to mention that the great Reggie White, who eventually ended up in Green Bay, he died of sleep apnea.
Really?
Yeah. He fell asleep and stopped breathing. Big guy like that. And that was a shame. That was of course after the Super Bowl win.
Really.
But that's the way it goes in life.
Yeah, and it's a dangerous thing. You don't mess around. If you think you have it, go have it done. Go have it checked. And mine's one of those cases. I was borderline. I could either address it or not. Either way.
I can do something that I had heard of nobody, and I've mentioned to doctors before too. Is that I can be having a dream, get up, get a glass of water, let the dog out or something, and go back in and start the dream over again.
And I've had that happen, but not recently. Isn't that funny?
It's pretty unusual.
It's like a TV show where you put it on pause.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And go back for the second half.
Yeah, and you have themes. There's always some themes, and I always wonder why I'm in certain places. I seem to go back to Colorado a lot. I go back to New York a lot. Sometimes I'm an old building of the Daily News. I'm there again. They're saying, "What are you doing here?" I'm just always in familiar places, it seems like.
Yeah, that's like myself. I retired from printing up in the Milwaukee area 31 years, and I dream a lot about the job up there and my old friends and everything else. And the dreams are good, But,
well, that's the good thing about it. You have the disturbing dreams. That's not
those
fun.
you don't want.
No. All right, Hugh. Well, thanks for the telephone call.
Okay,
sleep
Bye
well,
now.
Okay? All right, so here's fact number 2. I'll say fact number 3. Of all the names I could have thought of, the great Gone with the Wind, Margaret Mitchell, of course we know about that. The novel originally was named Pansy. How could they get Pansy out of that story? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a rip, I mean, how could Pansy ever have been the name of that? Pansy. I don't get that at all.
Originally, in what context?
That was the name of the book. That was the working pansy. Or? That was the working. That was the working title. Pansy.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
Ashley was. I don't get that.
I don't either. Can't get it. So then there's this fact, and we'll take a break. Come back and tell you why was it directors were required to shoot all of John Wayne's scenes before noon? Think about it. Come back on the other side. We'll tell you right here on the Voice of Ocala. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Are you looking for a trustworthy auto care company that won't sell you something you don't need? Look no further than Affordable Auto Air and Care. Affordable Auto Air and Care has serviced Ocala for a decade and is family owned and operated. They offer quality parts at affordable prices, and they even include a 1-year or 12,000-mile warranty on their parts and labor. Their certified technicians work on any type of vehicle, even RVs. They specialize in auto AC, but they also offer oil changes, brake service, filters, tune-ups, shocks, axles, complete auto repair. Affordable Auto Air and Care is located at 1841 Northwest 4th Avenue on the corner of Old Jacksonville Road and 441. Call 352-401-0011 to book an appointment. That's 352-401-0011. Affordable Auto Air and Care. Complete auto repair. Take it from me, Tom Schmitz. I'm a customer.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
On the the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Betty Deedon. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she's coming out to speak to us about the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Dr. Tracy Stevens and Julia Irene Kaufman will be on the air speaking about the Saving Hearts One Handbag at a Time Women's Heart Health Campaign.
And then on Open for Debate, I'll bring a topic to the program and we'll debate it.
Have all of your gardening questions answered by Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on You've Got a Garden.
And then H.W. Crocker III is coming out. He's a military historian. He's written for the Washington Times, and he's written a book. It's called The Politically Incorrect Guide to the British Empire.
Find out what you can do when your home or business is damaged from Joe Reichel and Rob Sobieski on Damage Control.
And then J.W. Winslow is coming on. She's an artist, a writer, a poet, and she's the host of 2 TV shows. She's also the daughter of screen legend Dick Winslow. She's coming on to speak to us about her books, The Mystic Adventures in Big Sur. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
If you're looking for work, then you don't want to miss Workforce Connections Job Fair on Wednesday, May 8th from 8:30 a.m. to noon at the College of Central Florida's Klein Center in Ocala. Find out about career opportunities and learn about Workforce Connection services. There is no charge to attend, but registration is required. You can get all the details at workforceconnectionfl.com or by calling us toll-free at 1-800-434-JOBS. Workforce Connection, your employment solution, starts here.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by Gateway Bank. On Tuesday, Marion County Commissioner Carl Zalick intends to bring up a proposed resolution that proclaims the board's unequivocal support for a citizen's right to keep and bear arms. The document calls on Governor Rick Scott and the legislature to use their lawful powers to resist any measure that violates residents' constitutional rights under the Second Amendment. This news break was brought to you by Gateway Bank, your new old-fashioned bank. Join Buddy every Friday for Community Gazette Day at Gateway Bank.
All right, welcome back to the program. All directors knew that John Wayne had to be filmed in the morning. That was the word now. And I kind of hate talking about people who are dead because they don't always get it right, when they're gone. But nonetheless, this is written by a guy in a book who apparently dealt with that. And he seemed to know this was a deal. And, John Wayne, he was, of course, a great chain smoker, the guy who, unfiltered cigarettes. He's an American hero and a guy that people love. Probably the greatest Western movie maker, movie star of all time to many people, and other things. But he did like to have a touch of the grape. And by the afternoon, he was well into the grape, apparently, and not at his best. So, as opposed to becoming what they called a mean drunk, I guess he was a mean drunk. I wouldn't want to have John Wayne around me when he was drunk and mad.
The Duke mad?
No, I wouldn't want that at all. Apparently, they shot the scenes in the morning, and he was free to do what he wanted to in the afternoon. This came from Sam Osteen's memoir, Cut to Chase. Osteen was a veteran filmmaker and a longtime friend associate with Wayne before he passed by in 2000. So he's saying, John Wayne says, shoot me in the morning, because I'm not going to be available in the afternoon. Cocktail hour starts at noon.
Maureen O'Hara, who played in the McClintock movie with him, said that when they the scene where he comes home and he's a little intoxicated and he throws his hat up on the weather vane, that was actually shot at like 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and that he was still a little intoxicated from the night before. And she said in an interview once that he was a very belligerent and mean man when he was intoxicated.
I would suspect. Well, I don't know which one of the movies I like the best on him. I'm still like some of his war movies. I thought they were some of the best.
Flying Leathernecks.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'm
Green
not sure.
Beret.
I like
Sands of Iwo Jima.
I think Sands of Iwo Jima was one of my favorites. I liked his cowboy too. I mean, his cowboy movies were very
True
good.
Grit's
actually.
rad.
True Grit was all right. It's a little different role for John Wayne. A little different for him.
Well, he played a drunkard.
Well, I know, but we don't see him. That's the Hollywood version.
Mine's Rio Bravo, I guess, with Dean Martin.
Yeah. We could probably make a whole program on John Wayne's movies.
I named my dog Duke, by the way. So
yeah, you like the Blue Devils?
I like Duke Johnson.
Duke Johnson. Okay, all right, guys. This is time. This segment's called More Than Rumor. All right. This is when you got some information. You know it's valid, but you don't have enough to really go on the record and say this is fact. So we deal with it with a question, as opposed to outright statements. So let's say they're informed questions, okay? I'll put it like that. And all the talk about Silver Springs we've had over the last year and a half, I know some people say, oh no, here he goes again talking about Silver Springs. And yes, I am. And I will continue to do so. I'm still not sure what's happening in Tallahassee. I'm not sure how we'll wind up with this thing, but we were told by Commissioner Kathy Bryant last week that she had heard on good authority that there would be a local concessionaire, and if that's the case, I say bravo. I'm hearing noises someplace. And so that's good. Now, here's the second thing. Walk through me with this, guys. Hunter, JJ, Tom. What is our number one purpose at Silver Springs?
To restore it back to the natural beauty that it once held and use it then as an economic force to...
Let's go back to the very first part of that, okay? What are we trying to do out there?
We're trying to restore it back to the way it was.
What does that mean, Hunter? Restore it back.
It means, make it the way it was. I mean, I want to be able to see the bottom of Silver Springs.
Okay, so the water has got to be clean, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Right, JJ? That's the first thing.
I think that there's different people saying they want different things.
Well, no. Before anything else is done, that has got to be done.
I agree.
Environmentally clean.
Yes, you have to get the pure water back out of there and stop polluting it. All right, and the nitrates in there are obviously what's causing this thing. And there are many studies about that. We kind of know what we have to do, and I'm told by people who know that it can be done. It's not that big a deal, whatever. But we've got to stop polluting it. And we know that fertilizer and runoff and all that stuff, and that the seaweed has got algae on it and so on and so forth. There's a million things. People say, well, if they let the catfish back in there again from the dam, they clean up that algae and so on and so on and so forth. But in the end, what's important is the cleanliness of the water. The water's got to be pure, right?
Right.
Now, having said that, after reading the story on my birthday, April 29th, about the new plan for the county to go in there and build this facility where they're going to take a lot of sewage into this thing, and a new wastewater, sewer, plants, whatever. I'm not getting it exactly right, but you get the drift. The new facility being built out by the springs. It's unclear to me exactly what's going on, and I know that if it's unclear to me, it's unclear to other people, and I have to ask this question, simple questions like, where's all this wastewater going? What is the sewage from Silver Springs shores? I understand they're building a pipe from there and running their sewage to Silver Springs. What is it going to be put in? A pipe, all right? A pipe. A forest main running close to the springs. Now, what's to say that's not a threat? If the pipe breaks and the sewage goes in the water, what happens there? Is that, what are you playing Russian roulette with this or what? I mean, they're transitioning the sewer output from one plant to another, and that helps reduce the nitrates. But the location of this and the pipe and where it goes concerns me a great deal. It's called a sewer force main stream. And this is going to eventually flow to the regional plant Silver Springs, which, by the way, is the same what they call spring shed as the current plant. So the question is, how much more flow is the Silver Springs regional plant able to handle, and how much will the Silver Springs sewer add? So there's a lot of things to be asked. There are questions about this and about why they're doing it this way. I don't know that anybody of us is smart to figure it out, what the problem is, but the story of the Star Banner talked about the fact that that Marion County picked up the backing for the sewer line project, and the state recently voted to grant the county an easement 4.5 acres of the property, and they'll host the Silver Springs attraction there, the installation of the new $1 million sewer line. Now, the new sewer line. So the project is funded by the county and the state. It'll allow county utilities departments to decommission an older wastewater treatment plant, and the wastewater now is piped will be rerouted eventually to the county's new Silver Spring Shores regional plant. So again, there's a lot of trafficking of sewer there. It's all going in pipes. It's going back to the same area around Silver Springs, and there are already a large number of septic tanks in Silver Springs. Why isn't that being addressed? Why don't the people who are on septic tanks, why can't they go online and be part of the sewer? Because the septic tanks really do cause a problem, because that seeps down in the ground. So there's a lot going on environmentally I'm not smart enough to figure out. I'm putting this out there if anybody else cares about it. If we're kind of cleaning it up, why are we putting more stuff out there? I don't get it.
And if you're going to put more stuff out there, why isn't it to consolidate all the septic tanks onto a line?
Something. I would think the septic tanks had to be a part of that. I mean, it's something. I got to get Jeff Alcom on here and ask him to explain it to us. Maybe he can, although it's not a city project, maybe somebody from the county can figure out. Because I know it's not a really sexy topic to talk about. It's not terribly interesting, but so important. Really important. We got to talk about it. Just like the first time we asked the question on this program, why does Adena Springs need 13 million gallons a day when that's almost as much as the city of Ocala? Now, we can ask the questions. We don't get all the answers, but I want to put that out there, everybody. Think about it. I'm going to read it up some more, get some guests in here and talk about it, because I think we're perilously close to doing the same thing if we're not careful that we're trying to avoid, and that is to clean up the springs. And that means clean the water. The water has got to stay clean. All right, guys, that's my take on it.
And I think it's an absolutely correct take.
All right, coming up in just a minute, we're going to do Dr. Buddy is in the house, but he needs some help. The topic is, why do women hate us when we answer our cell phones, but it's okay for them to answer theirs? You guys ever experienced this?
Yes.
No.
No? No? Okay. I heard a good message Sunday about that, and my friend Brad said that his wife is like to just punt his cell phone, take it and punt it across the street. I thought, that's disrespectful. I got a lot of my stuff in that cell phone, and I can't afford to have my cell phone punted over there. But you get that look when it rings, like, okay, you're on my time now. Put it away. There's certain times I understand when you're having dinner with your family, you turn it off, put it down. I'm okay with that. Maybe there's a no cell phone zone and time. But I'm telling you, boys, they don't like it when our phone rings, especially when they're with us. So if you haven't experienced that,
they just don't like anything that takes away
exactly
us.
Well, yeah, it's a battle.
It's 100% on them.
Yeah, a battle of their time. So you guys think about it. Maybe you got some suggestions how we can deal with this and keep our manhood. All right, we'll take a break. Come back, talk about it next on Dr. Buddy right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none. And we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family will ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
This is Don with ABC Fredericks Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey, everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Fredericks Appliance does repairs, too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that is really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Hi, I'm Russ with Climate Control Mechanical Services, and I want to invite you to tune in every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to listen for tips and answers to the many questions you may have about your air conditioning and heating for your home or business. The Climate Control Show, every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. right here on WOCA, 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Paid off a guard and he slipped out a letter to my cousin in Tennessee. And he brought down me a blue tick count, lost his pretty...
All right, a few minutes to go before we get to the top there. Coming up at 4 o'clock, we'll talk about Iron Man 3. Did you see it yet? I have not. Hope to do that. As I said, I'll be watching the Great Gatsby this weekend. Laurie Barty Gregory will be in the house. We'll discuss that. It's time now, guys, to... talk about, with Dr. Buddy's help, cell phones and women. I understand the encroachment upon the time of a wife or a girlfriend when the phone rings and it's somebody, your buddy who's betting on a football game, wants to get your advice. I get that, There are certain calls you don't have to take. There's sometimes you get important calls. If you got a call out, you've been trying to reach somebody for 2 days, and you finally get that call coming in, you've been waiting on it, you just got to take that call. You say, excuse me, I have to take this. And I don't mean take 15 minutes, but, take 2 or 3 minutes and say, okay, here's the deal. I'll call you back later, right? So,
especially Dr. Business related.
Well, this is a relative, a daughter or a son or, a mother or a
they
father.
Can wait.
Well, depends. I always take my phone calls from my family because you never know. So it's very important. So my point is, what can we do about this to keep peace in the family so there's a fairness about it so that we don't miss those critical calls at that time. At the same time, we don't infringe on the time of our sweethearts or our wives. Who wants to go?
I think the key there, buddy, is what you said, is the time limit of the phone call. Don't make it a 15 or 20-minute conversation. Get what's needed to be said during the phone call, and because if it's something you've been waiting on or something that's obviously important, or if it's a family member, you don't know if it's an emergency or not, assess what's going on, make the call. You can make a call 2 or 3 minutes, very brief, and then go right back to no phone call. I think it's the time of the call is one of the best ways to alleviate this argument.
I don't know. I don't really have this problem a lot, buddy, because girls my age are way worse on their phones than I am.
Do they text?
Way worse.
That's true. They do text
and they're
a
on
lot.
Facebook. I don't have a Facebook, so they would be hypocrites to say anything to me. I don't ever have that problem. I think in my generation, it's the opposite. Guys get more annoyed at their chick.
Really? You know what girls do, though, to your age group? And I see this a lot. With girls getting arguments over this. I've seen buddies of mine get in trouble with it. A girl will go through a guy's cell phone
all the time.
Oh yeah, it bothers me.
And
that can't happen.
No,
I have a pass protection on mine.
That's the only way to be in a great relationship is two people with two great passwords. Man.
Yeah, because here's the thing: if you already suspect that something's going on enough to where you want to go through a cell phone,
it probably is going on.
You're in the wrong relationship in the first place. But if you're going to look through a cell phone because you're expecting to find bad things, and then you find bad things, what did you think you were going to find? You already suspected there were bad things. That's where the cell phone causes problems to JJ's generation. Always, people being snoopy and going into the cell phone.
That's correct.
Right? I agree with that. And first of all, if your relationship is that untrustworthy, then you got no relationship.
It's a bad relationship.
If you start looking, see
the phone's not the difference.
So anyway, so what we come up with is what? If you're going to have your cell phone, maybe put it on silence, right? And you put it down there face up and say, you tell your spouse or your girlfriend, I may be getting this call, right? That if it comes in, I might have to take it, but it's okay. I'll step out in the room. I'll promise it'll be 5 minutes and we'll get over it. Just make sure you don't get a second call from somebody at that point in time. So, and it goes both ways. I mean, I think that's fair. I said, a cell phone free zone is probably a good thing at some point in time. And there are times like you just can't do it. I mean, you don't take your cell phone to church. No. You can't do that. So, but I guess that's the issue. And like you said, JJ, it's taking away from their time with you. Therefore, you have to be respectful. There's your tip from Dr. Buddy. Be careful about your using of your cell phone. Make sure your spouse or your friend or your whatever knows the rules, and be respectful. But by the same token, don't miss that call you've been waiting on for 3 days because your girlfriend might pout about it. All right, that's the best Dr. Buddy can do for you in a very difficult situation.
You're one of those guys that's always on your phone too, man. Everybody's trying to holler at you all
I'm
the
not
time.
really that much. I'm not.
I'm just saying a lot of people contact.
I used to have it be burning up all the time, but not so much anymore. I have certain times of the day I take. And, you also have a time you take your calls. All right, coming up next, we'll talk about Iron Man 3 and other stuff right here on the program. Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make...
Marsh Bank approval. Vehicle purchase across the fixed rate allowance.
So, whoosh! That's the sound of my broom working overtime, because this month I'm sweeping the streets of Ocala to rid the city of old clunkers so you can drive a nicer, newer car today.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. Right now, I'll give you a lot more over your appraised value for your old car. Even if you're still making payments, even the worst clunkers qualify, and nice cars too. So trade up to a clean car today.
Plus, my sweeping is keeping the bankers from sleeping, because my For the People credit approval process gives my banks and lenders more opportunity to help good people like you.
So wave goodbye to that old car you're stuck in and say hello to a bright and shiny, nicer, newer car today. Get a lot more over appraised value for your old car.
Even if you're still making payments, trade up to clean up today.
Hurry, once I get rid of 57 cars, this auto makeover is over. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people. Visit me at Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala or Bellevue.
Or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
The AP is reporting that 2 explosions at the finish line of the Boston Marathon.
There's 3 people confirmed dead at Boston Marathon.
Multiple people injured.
Explosion at the Boston Marathon.
Report of another possible device at the Mandarin.
Our 6 reported injured, no death. Workers felt the blast all the way over from Newburyport Street.
The voice of Ocala, your eyes and ears when it really counts.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal and small group training, but did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Up to 20% of the brain's cerebral cortex consists of the same fatty acids found in fish, like salmon, tuna, and sardines. The number of ER visits due to caffeine overdoses, they've skyrocketed in the past decade. A growing number of victims are teenagers who consume so many energy drinks. People who are around animals every day, they feel healthier. They're also, get this, 21% less likely to develop colds and flu.
On the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to the source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into the source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that's really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
California,
tried to save themselves. They were found against the partition that separates the back of the car from the driver. The cause of the fire still has not been determined. Still no verdict in the Jodi Arias murder trial. The jury is in its first full day of deliberations. Arias says she killed her ex-boyfriend in self-defense. Prosecutors say it was premeditated. When your baby's pacifier falls on the floor, do you wipe it clean by sucking on it? Apparently, that can make your child less prone to allergies, asthma, and eczema. If you shop online, your purchases could soon get a little more expensive. The Senate will vote on a bill today that will force internet companies to charge sales tax. This is ABC News.
I know my business, but I don't know much about creating a website.
Who has the time to create their own website?
I always thought a website would cost a lot of money. Then I discovered Wix.com.
Wix.com was the perfect solution.
It's so easy. You choose a beautiful design, write what you want to say, and move your images where you want them. No coding, no confusion.
And the best part is that Wix.com is absolutely free.
No matter what size your business, people don't take you seriously unless you have a professional-looking website. Create your own stunning website for free at Wix.com. That's Wix.com.
Hey, Flo.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up this leaf blowing, and then we can finish pruning the shrubs up front.
Already done. Hey, one question.
Yep.
Just hypothetically, if the shrubs were pruned to look like cartoon animals, that would be a good thing, right? Hypothetically?
Insuring your business vehicles with Progressive is like having Flo on the road with you. Low down payments, great discounts, and flexible billing options. Now that's Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. United Financial Casualty Company and Affiliates.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
You think he's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala.
Hoo-ah! You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
All right, like the man said, hour 2 of the program on a Monday. On a beautiful May 6th today. Hope you're enjoying your day. Nice and cool, slight breeze, blue sky, sunny. Can't beat it. Coming up in just a moment, we'll talk about the movies. The big one coming this Friday. If you haven't got your tickets, be sure to do so because it's a special deal where you buy a ticket, you come to the party, you get the free food. Simple as that. You go to Fandango or you can actually go to the theater and get them and come down. I'm trying to decide what to wear. I started looking up outfits and I saw that Leo, as we call him, wore a black tie. I'm thinking, how would I look at a black tie? I'm leaning more toward the white dinner jacket look right now, I think. I'm looking at that.
Smoker's jacket?
No, just a white tux jacket, dinner jacket it's called. You know, just a. I'm leaning in that direction right now, and of course, Tom will be up in Ponte Vedra, so he'll miss that. So he'll be broadcasting up there, and big tournament this week in Players Championship. But I am looking forward to that movie for sure.
I'll be dressed up. I'll just be running the board.
You got
well, good. What are you going to wear? What are you wearing there?
Top hat.
Top hat, cane,
monocle,
spats, the whole nine.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I like that. You look good in that, JJ. You would.
Are y'all going to have the black and white patent leather shoes on?
Well, we'll see if those are, possible. It's possible. You never know. I might go that route.
And
I got to wear a monocle, man.
Didn't you have, like, back in those days, they wore, like, the straw hat?
That's what I understand, Tom. I wasn't around there, but I just see pictures.
That became famous in the 50s and 60s as convention hats at political conventions.
Yeah, they've been around a little while.
Right.
I saw the picture of Tom Ingerman. He had one on. He and Angie Lewis dressed like a flapper. You know what a flapper is?
Yeah.
Okay. The Charleston, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun day. I hope we have good weather for that.
I don't know where the name Flapper came from.
Oh, look it up. You got to find out what it is. 5'2", eyes are blue. 5 feet can do. Has anybody seen my girl?
Flapper, a new breed of young Western women in the 1920s who wore skirts.
There you go.
I don't know. We'll find out. The word flapper, sometimes supposed to refer to a young woman flapping its wings while learning to fly. However, it may derive from an earlier use in Northern England to mean teenage girl, referring to one whose hair is not yet put up and whose pigtailed flapped on her back.
TMI. We would just go with flapper in the 1920s. This is enough for me.
And this is the complete opposite. It says, or from an older word meaning prostitute.
Yeah. So now we're totally confused.
Yeah.
Let's just go with the regular.
Wikipedia.
Here we go. Also, great Sunday coming up, and going to be out there at the Muni for Symphony on the Stars. Great evening. Matthew Wardell, the Ocala Symphony, fireworks. Great time to enjoy with your family. You guys hear about this? The guy who punched the referee in Salt Lake City. Teenager punched the referee.
17-year-old goalie.
And the guy died.
Yeah.
Apparently he got punched and he didn't get knocked out. He just sat down a couple minutes later and started bleeding and felt, dizzy. So they took him to the hospital and he had, internal bleeding.
He was in a coma for a week.
Died.
And first of all, there's so much wrong with a 70-year-old kid punching an official.
Yeah,
that off the bat, you can't do that.
But now he's going to get, he could get charged with murder.
I don't think it'll be murder. I heard one of the CNN analysts say that probably
manslaughter,
some kind of something. Because he
didn't mean to do that.
It wasn't like he premeditated it.
Right.
Obviously, he wasn't obviously thinking at all when he did it. But he's going to do some hard time. That's for sure. And think of 17-year-old
How quick
kid,
can your life change?
just like that.
Insane.
Just like that.
Playing in a soccer game.
Always tell your kids that, JJ. Remind them. Your life hangs in the balance.
And the goalie was upset that he got a yellow card
for
coming out of the box and tackling a player. And so he got upset and got in a heated discussion and then just hit the guy.
He's got a yellow card now.
He's got a lot more than that.
Sitting in a clinker for a few years.
And the thing is, this one incident could end up ruining that. It's a league for Latin American or Latin kids in Denver, because the guy that started the league didn't think they had the opportunities. Not in Denver, in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Didn't think they had opportunities afforded to them. So he's entered into an agreement with a middle school and everything, and it's worked well for 2 years. The county's making money and all, and now the county's looking into doing away with allowing them to play there.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, I know
that.
But this one decision,
it only takes one to ruin it for everybody.
But the one decision by this kid, in the heat of the moment, he kills a man. Not his intention, but now he's ruined the possible opportunity for hundreds of kids.
Well, they kind of ruined the dead man's life, too.
And his own life.
I know.
And it's just a horrible situation.
Horrible story. By the way, it's sort of just in a way that Tamerlan Sarnoff can't find a place to be buried. He can't find a place to be buried. No.
Yeah.
Well, they
claimed
can't,
him.
They've claimed him, but they have no place to bury him. They won't allow him to be buried.
Right.
There's so much, and then if they do bury him, they're going to have people come pillage his grave and whatever.
I would think they would take him overseas.
Yeah, but who's going to take him?
I don't know. His family.
His family doesn't want to be seen apparently anywhere around it apparently. Right. So I don't know. But it's just almost poetic justice that this guy, this idiot. I heard a theory the other day that this is one of those far-fetched things. He was a boxer.
Right.
Maybe he had a concussion and lost his senses, and made a decision. Bow, and I don't believe that, by the way, but Bow counts prior to that. He was a terrific fighter. His coach said he thought he could win the New England Championship and Golden Gloves, and he was a hard-working guy, but something went wrong somewhere, and unfortunately, the kid brother got tagged along with him. So,
he wasn't allowed to go to the next step for him, which was the Olympics, because he wasn't born here and he wasn't an American citizen. So he just quit after that. So I don't think it was anything to do with the concussion. I just think he was, mad about the whole sport situation.
Can I tell you one of the scariest things that I've seen recently about this whole bombing thing? Is there's a group of young people, and I met a couple of them Friday night, and they were a large. When I say a couple of them, there was probably 8 or 10 girls and guys in this group that vehemently believe, and they told me of websites and everything, there's a large contingent that vehemently believes that this whole thing was put together by the CIA. What kind of whack jobs are they?
I've heard that. It's the black helicopter theory about everything. There's always a conspiracy someplace,
I just think that this was just really... They did a crappy job.
Yeah.
I think if our government had anything to do with it, it would be a little bit better.
and that's what the argument
two guys
I made.
on camera getting caught with some homemade bombs and then
that's the argument
getting
I made.
caught the next day.
But that's the argument I made, and they said no, but that's ingenious then, because now the CIA doesn't have any culpability.
Yeah,
that was their defense.
I've heard a lot of things, but the latest thing I heard that interests me was the kid texting his friends who they arrested. When they saw him on TV, they texted him like, "Yo, what's up?" And he texted back, "LOL. You can have anything in my room that you want."
But the father of one of them said if he'd have been trying to cover for Zarnoff, he would have trashed the bag. He would have thrown it away, this kid.
What did he do with it?
He left it someplace. Took it and left it someplace in a room or something. He didn't act. This one kid did not take it and trash it.
Right.
So he said if he wanted to help him get away, he'd have trashed it.
Yeah,
all he did was just pick it up and do something.
Well,
with
yeah,
it.
because the text said you can have whatever you want out of my room, LOL. And it's the father saying the one kid took the bag of fireworks and didn't destroy him or anything. If he was trying to help him, he'd have destroyed him. And I can firmly believe a 19-year-old, well, dude, he ain't using them fireworks.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Let's go get him. Jason,
I
would you
wouldn't
not do
think
that same
fireworks,
thing?
but I mean, I'd be like, this guy's never getting out of prison, man. Let's take his Xbox. He's never going to have it. I'm saying.
Oh, my gosh.
The least,
like a bunch of buzzards taking a
If he's
picking,
going to kill people, I'm
Where's
at
his
least going to be
girlfriend?
able
We'll take his girlfriend
steal
too.
some of his crap.
Well, when he said but when he said take whatever you want,
Yeah.
I can see a 19-year-old going in and finding a bag full of fireworks and saying, "Dude, this will be a rager on Friday night out on the dirt road somewhere." I can see that happening.
I don't know any dirt roads out
with
there.
no intent of covering up anything.
A terrorist plot,
Here, I got a bag full of mortars. I'm going out and blowing these up. I can see that happening.
Because he doesn't seem like he was hanging out with some hardcore terrorist type guys.
Except for his brother.
One of them did have on the front of his BMW the terrorista license tag.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
He's a dummy.
Idiot.
All right, guys, the producers are talking. We're going over Hunter again. That's the way it always happens around here. We'll take a break, come back. Lori Martin on the other side. And by the way, I got a story for you that you're going to just hate. The emotes, quit peeking, Tom. Quit peeking. You can't comment on this.
Does it
'cause you
involve
peeked.
Otis Nixon?
It involves Forbes' most influential athletes. Okay, most influential. All right, I'm just saying. I'm just telling you what the people say, what the research shows. All right, so apparently not able to influence enough people on the field, but certainly in the rest of the country, he's influencing. We'll take a break. Come back. Laurie Martin Gregory next. We'll tell you about that poll. Lots more to come your way. Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
Situations in the state where we got the city police department, we got the county sheriff, and we got the state patrol. Hypothetically speaking, let's say the state patrol is chasing a bank robber with a hostage into Marion County, into the city of Ocala, and they take hostage someplace. How is it determined what department would make the ultimate decisions on what to do to solve the situation?
What we do in a situation like that where there's a joint response is we institute what's known as incident command, and it's a joint command basically of the situation. Normally the agency that started the incident is overall in charge of it, but it's going to depend on what happens once it gets there the leaders on the scene that night, the watch commander, the supervisors from whatever agencies get together and they implement that incident command, and that's how those decisions are made.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. Listen to my show weekdays from 3 to 6 right here on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Right here since 1957. We're WOCA, News Talk 1370.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that's really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. The Marion County Board of Commissioners indicated it would revisit its management strategy for Kearney Island Recreation and Conservation Area, a 601-acre county park along the western shores of Lake Weir. Commissioners in recent weeks have been focused on tapping the renewed potential of Silver Springs. Now the commission apparently wants to find a way to do the same for Kearney Island, the largest facility in the county's park system. This news break was brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Join Angie as she joins Buddy weekly for her Biz Buzz or Good Neighbor Award.
Welcome back to the program, Voice of Ocala. Glad to have you with us on this beautiful day. Time for me to welcome back from Boston, Laurie Martin Gregory, who is here to talk about movies. But first of all, good to have you back in town.
Thank you very much.
We missed you on the show.
Aw, that's sweet.
JJ said he did anyway.
For sure, we had to deal with Buddy on Thursday afternoon.
It's tough.
Oh,
tough.
gosh.
No.
What was that about?
I don't know.
Good. Yeah, and so why don't you just give us a little bit of your overview about Boston? You saw it the week after everything happened, and you being a former Boston resident, you texted me some interesting things. I don't know if you want to share them or not, but about Boston and how you saw it, and and what happened, and what has changed about the city, and about the aspect of being there just a week after all that happened.
Yeah, it was a very interestingly timed trip. We had scheduled this trip months prior, so we really didn't want to reschedule for a whole host of reasons. And it was a really strange time to be there. And I did spend a lot of years there, 14. So when you spend that much time someplace, it sort of becomes a part of you, becomes embedded in your consciousness. And it was interesting to compare what I feel and know about the city to what is going on there now. And it felt very different to me in a sad way. And, a lot of it is probably reactionary. And I think a lot of the sentiments of, rallying to overcome and Boston Strong and a lot of the things that are becoming almost slogans for getting through something like that are also just a way to cope.
Well, you
it's a
were
coping
right
mechanism.
there, not that far from the finish line, and of course Copley Square and all that stuff. And you were walking around the area quite a bit, and there were an awful lot of people who were pouring through that area there. And I often wonder, are they people who, I know obviously they felt in a very somber mood and were sad. I wonder sometimes if there wasn't a bit of voyeurism in it too, to go see what happened, where the site was.
Well, it was closed until about my third or fourth day there. They actually reopened Boylston Street. And a friend of mine who works in Copley Square texted me and said, are you coming down, they're reopening Boylston Street, are you coming down to see the memorial? And I said, no, I don't really feel, called to go and sort of walk those steps. And she said, well, it's really wonderful to look around the square now on the first day that it's reopened and see people in the outdoor cafes. And she said it's been really eerie. Of course, she was still going to work even when the square was closed. But she said just to, have life back in Copley was very sort of an exhale. It was kind of a relief.
I kind of get what you're talking about regarding not wanting to go, because this is bizarre. I'm not even sure why I feel this way, but you know that the World Trade Center and the top of the World Trade Center, of course, was my favorite view from New York City. They had a wonderful restaurant there, the Windows of the World. Which,
have you been back to the 9/11 sites?
That's what I'm getting to.
That's
Is that
true.
if I pick one spot to go to for a special occasion, I lived in New York, I'd go to that restaurant and view New York City over that spot. Now, it seems almost selfish to bring this up because given what happened to everybody else, this is nothing. But for me, it was my place and it was where I went and where I remembered the magic of New York City. And after that happened, I've never wanted to go back there. I've never been.
So you've never been?
Never been back.
So I went for the first time last summer to the World Trade Center site, and that was the soonest I felt like I could go, because you shared that place, and I know how fond you were of Windows on the World, and I also had, some memories there, but, I couldn't even fathom. I guess it's too soon for me to go down Boylston Street.
Yeah.
I went to dinner one night at Legal Seafood, which is at the end of Boylston.
Great seafood house, by the way. If you ever get to Boston, JJ,
It's
go
really
spend some
great.
extra money and go to Legal Seafood, or as they call it in Boston, legal.
Right. And I got off the tea. The tea for me has always been where I would consider to be one of the city's vulnerabilities. And I don't know if you and Tom remember, but the day that the bomb went off, I said to you, I'm concerned it went off in the T because of the trajectory of the explosion, the way it went up, and it looked like it was right under the sidewalk, which is, where the T, it's the subway, but they call it the T, runs. And my 5-year-old, of course, loves riding the T. It's all he talks about, and really wanted to ride the T. So, of course, we weren't going to not ride the T just because of this tragic event. But it was very alarming to me that still, you can walk through the turnstiles. There's absolutely zero screening. You get into a subway that goes underground, and every other person, if not more, is carrying a backpack because there are so many students. There's 500,000 plus college students in Boston proper alone. So, what college student doesn't carry a backpack? And it just would be, it seems so unsecure to me, the whole system, that it really, I feel like now being in Boston, it's like being in Paris or London, that the potential for these kinds of events is now inherent in everyday life.
Yeah, people think maybe the stadiums are more vulnerable, but the stadiums are pretty well policed, and there's a way to make them somewhat secure.
And it's an open
with
space.
a race like this, there's no way to secure that area.
That's the thing. I mean, we went to Fenway for a game, and my husband commented that he felt like security was lax. But we walked in at the top of the second inning, so we had missed the majority of the crowds going in. And they actually had lines for people with no bags to check, because, of course, they're checking bags. And I, in my brief moment of wisdom, didn't take any bags. I just, walked in with my wallet. So we didn't have to be checked at all to go into Fenway. But when you get on the tee, everything's automated. So you buy your ticket at a vending machine. There aren't even any ticket booth people anymore. I mean, there's no one there of authority. So you buy your ticket on the vending machine, you walk through the turnstile, and you get into the subway underground with a zillion other people. And it just felt to me like
you could blow up the whole tunnel.
It would just be so easy. Yeah. I mean, you'd get caught because I know there's cameras, but it felt completely different to me than it ever has before. And I found myself feeling sad and like I had to mourn the fact that the city that I know is gone.
Make you feel different about Boston, huh?
Mm-hmm. It did.
Yeah.
In a sad way.
And a great city it is, by the way.
And I didn't have that feeling in New York. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, and I actually read an interesting article in the New York Times yesterday about the idea of, and I think you and I had touched on this Friday night when we were talking about this, 9/11 would be very difficult to pull off today because it's the scale of it, and because of Homeland Security and the precautions that are in place, it would be very difficult. It's littler, quote unquote, in terms of size and number of people affected. These smaller acts of terrorism that are much harder to stop. So that's what concerns me for our country going forward.
I figure all they got to do is put a bunch of germs on a drone and send it anyway. That'd be easy enough. And I see where these kids are developing these other little robots that are drones. So they can do anything. It's amazing technology. So the next war will be fought. Star Wars.
It's all electronic anyway.
All right, Larry Martin Gregory's here. We'll take a break.
We can talk about some fun stuff when we come back.
Talk about some movies. How about that? Yes. Were there any good movies around?
Oh,
wait a minute.
I saw a great one.
All right. Does it start with an I?
Can't say.
All right. Coming back on the other side, Larry Martin Gregory takes us to the movies to talk about the I movie after this time out on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies, Gifts, and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's
is leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. Join me every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
Life's journey has many ups and downs, but you can take comfort in the knowledge that Robert's Funeral Home is here to serve you and your family with loving care and dignity. The Roberts family has been providing their caring services since 1898 and offer traditional, custom, cremation, and veteran services. Pre-made arrangements are also available. Roberts Funeral Homes. Great funeral homes serve great people.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that's really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Do you wonder why you continue to experience pain? Is your daily routine affected by your body telling you that it hurts? Let us explain why this may be happening to you every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on the Head to Toe Care Show. This is Dr. Riyad Fakuri, board-certified chiropractic orthopedist at the Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic Center, available to serve you and answer any questions that you may have. Again, that's on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday at 11 a.m. right here on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, I'm Ernie Sprantz. Join me weekday mornings at 10:50 for Report to Consumers. Consumer news you can use from your hometown station. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
WOCA. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing.
Welcome back to the program. Time to talk movies. Got a good one going on right now in the city, and Laurie Martin Gregory is here to talk about Iron Man 3.
Okay, I am not a superhero movie girl. That's not my thing. I have to just say that up front.
I'm not
full disclosure.
surprised by that.
Right?
I'm not a superhero dude either, but I do love the Batman movies.
Okay, now so I'm curious because what I
And
love.
I have seen the first 2 Iron Mans.
Okay, I have 2. And they were good, but they
all
weren't.
right.
Yeah, they weren't like, oh, I can't wait. I wasn't. But what I like about the Batman movies is they're stylized, and
I
so
think they're they're more like a real film than a superhero movie.
Okay.
There's more of a story to the Batman movies, I think.
okay. So you may or may not like Iron Man.
I probably won't.
What surprised me about Iron Man 3 is how good the story is. And it's really almost like a rom-com, which is, of course, short for romantic comedy. It's
Wait, what was that?
It's like it's a rom-com.
A rom-com.
Correct. That's
Is that a
short.
website?
Iron Man 3
is a rom-com.
like a rom-com?
I am not
Okay.
kidding you. I couldn't believe. First
I'll
of
work that
all,
in my show someplace.
first of all,
You've never heard that, buddy?
No.
Rom-com?
No.
Dang. All right. Sort of like a 15-year
it's been around.
word, yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Sorry,
new.
I'm more than 50 years old.
I'm not that hip to
But
be.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. It's difficult, I know.
It's okay. So one of the most enjoyable things. So I'm a big Jon Favreau fan. I don't know if you remember him from Swingers and.
Oh, yeah. He didn't do this movie, I thought.
Well, he is acting in it.
Okay, but
so
he
he
didn't
has a
direct
character. He didn't direct it. He handed it over to Shane Black for the directorial duties, and Shane Black wrote the Lethal Weapon movies. He did a great job directing, but what was fun is that I was really happy to see in the very beginning of the film, and interestingly enough, his character is named Happy, Jon Favreau. He plays Robert Downey Jr., who of course is Iron Man. He plays his bodyguard. And he has a really great little quirky character in the film that has a pretty significant part, even though he doesn't have a ton of screen time. So not sure, how that ended up happening, but yeah, he was really a highlight for me. My husband, who is a superhero movie kind of guy, Gary, said he really enjoyed it as well. He thought it was way better than the first two films, and one of the things he liked about this movie is that Gwyneth Paltrow is not annoying. So evidently he found her annoying in the first two movies.
Wait a minute. Now, you're talking about the woman who's just recently named the most beautiful person in the world.
And in the same week also named the most disliked celebrity by two different
probably by women,
publications.
Other women.
So she's... Okay, so if you're not a Gwyneth Paltrow fan, you might actually still enjoy this movie because he's not a big fan and he thought she was exceptionally unannoying in this movie. Very good script, very entertaining, very funny. There were some great one-liners in this movie. Robert Downey Jr., as he did in Sherlock Holmes, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but he keeps the dialogue moving so fast that if you don't really sort of tune your ear to his dialogue, you will miss some of what he's saying. It's almost hard to hear what he's
like
saying
West Wing
sometimes.
used to be when you had to run it back
Exactly
and see what they
right.
said.
He's
Exactly
real nonchalant about things he says, too.
Right. Great subplot with a young boy in Tennessee, and the effects are just off the hook.
Heard the opening scene is really great.
All the effects, the special effects in this movie are unbelievable, and it's not in 3D.
What is so special about the opening?
I can't say.
I heard his suits are rad.
Yeah, it's comical. It's interesting. The script is a good script. It keeps it moving. That's one of the things that Tom and we disagreed about because I thought Avengers was a snoozer of a story. But the story in Iron Man 3 really keeps going. I mean, they really keep it moving and they keep it interesting. There's all sorts of sort of tangents going on. And it concludes because, this is the last in the trilogy, so we won't be seeing anymore. Interesting side character, Don Cheadle, as the war patriot.
Really?
Yes. So he plays a sort of copycat superhero that the government has built with the same technology. So he's the Iron Patriot. I think he's called the Iron Patriot. And he's a government tool that they use for various scenarios. So
I know a few government tools, by the way.
Me too.
He's great. He's also great. He's one of my favorite actors. So he's a nice. So I'm sort of curious to see now if they'll spin off Don Cheadle would be the first black superhero.
Is that question? That this might be the last Iron Man. But they're not done cranking every cent out of this.
Here's what I want to know.
They left the door open for him to do.
Let's roll the clock back just for a second here. 20 years ago, 50 years ago, and say,
No.
Okay, I'm in Hollywood. I got this great script of a superhero called Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go get somebody to play Iron Man. Who should we get?
Oh.
Who?
Do you not like
Downey
Robert?
Jr.?
Are you not a fan?
He's just not a superhero.
Oh, but he's such a good
No,
actor.
he's not.
Though.
Tony Starks isn't a superhero, though.
Yeah. He's sort of the anti-superhero.
Tony Starks is not supposed to
It's a nerd superhero. I know.
He is totally
I know
a nerd
it's like
superhero.
Clark Kent and Superman, all that sort of stuff. But it's just not a guy. Would you, Tom, have picked him out?
I wouldn't have picked Robert Downey Jr. out, and here's why. Because of the complete failure as a human being he was 20 years. To me, it's one of the greatest reinventions of a person's acting life. Because
And his
Robert
life,
Downey
he
Jr.
resurrected
was,
his life.
He did some bad movies, and then his worst movie, acting-wise, and he is a very good actor.
The
but
pickup artist.
He had ran through some bad times in his life with drugs and everything. No, I believe in the Wesley Snipes version of The Fugitive, where it wasn't called that. It was actually named after the U.S. Marshals in the second movie, where he played an FBI agent that came in and was a rogue guy. He was completely unbelievable in that position, and so I'd written him off.
Well, if you think about it, there is a parallelism between, Iron Man sort of crashing and having to be reborn, and Robert Downey Jr. in his personal life sort of crashing and being reborn.
Well, the ability of the Avengers movie, and I think this probably happened to more than just one person.
What, they fell asleep in it like I did?
The Avengers movie, while I understand what you're saying about the storyline was not good.
Oh, the fact that it was invisible, you mean? That didn't exist?
The special effects were great, but what it did for me was I was not going to see an Iron Man movie. I thought they were Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
This is such a great movie.
And then I saw him as the Iron Man in the Avengers.
He was the best one.
He saved the film.
He did, and I immediately went out and on Netflix
and watched 1 and 2,
Iron Man and Iron Man
which
2.
you can see on cable all week 1,000 times, by the way, because they're
I do like him, by the way. I think he's a great host on Letterman or whatever. He's really
great.
Good
He's great in this film. He looks good. He does a great job with the script. He's funny. He's engaging. He keeps the story moving. It's just Iron Man 3 is just a big hit.
And
it's all, and Guy Pearce, an unlikely villain, but awesome. And again, very nerdy, but such a great, in the end, how he ends up playing out as the villain is really quite terrific.
Remember, this is
Be careful what you say, because Larry Whitter's here with a camera.
With a camera. Remember,
this could be on TV.
This is Robert Downey Jr., who in the middle '80s was part of that group that he was a side element of the Brat Pack. He was good friends with all those guys.
Of course.
He was in Weird Science as a villain in Weird Science, and here he is 30 years later.
Correct.
In huge blockbuster.
He's a great actor.
Career.
I mean, he's a really strong. He's an actor's actor.
So
He's
wrap it
very
up
good.
for us. Iron Man 3. Give us the rating on it. Tell us the mini plot again, and tell us why we should go see it.
Tony Stark has basically gone down the rabbit hole in his laboratory and is, just manically experimenting with all sorts of new features on his iron suits, while Gwyneth Paltrow, his girlfriend, and as well CEO of Stark Industries, is running his company. There's a flashback scene in the beginning where he was actually approached to partner with someone who takes off with his technology, and then 13 years later decides to use it for not good but for evil, and they end up going head to head. But in the process, there's a real sorting out of Stark, his quirks, his personal foibles, his demons, and there's a sort of reconciling for him as he's helping save the day and save the country and the planet from this bad evildoer. He finds peace in the end. So it's a great recap of his whole journey as Iron Man, as well as him coming full circle and finding a
What's
peace.
your rating of it?
I'm going to go 4.5 stars on this.
Wow.
Half? Mm-hmm. That's your highest rating ever on this program.
It is.
That good?
It's very
for
good.
a comic strip character.
Got to confess, my expectations were low. So, maybe that affects my rating, but I left there with just in such a surprise and such a good mood and feeling like that was really an enjoyable experience.
And you also were coming out of a place where all the news had not been good in Boston. You need to go somewhere and relax and be entertained.
And I
think entertainment factor.
Entertainment factor's high. And also, ladies, don't be afraid because it's a superhero film. There's a lot in there for you. It's a rom-com superhero movie. It's a perfect husband-wife, guy-girl film to see because there's something for both.
Well, I'm wondering about this outfits that JJ brings and hides here, and then he switches into them. I don't know what he's got going on, but you never know.
You never know.
He could be in a rom-com for all I know.
I am so not nice enough to be a superhero to help people.
Maybe he's the villain.
Yeah, JJ would definitely be the villain.
If he was the villain, what would he be in Batman?
The
Not
Joker.
The Joker?
Penguin, buddy. Monocle.
Oh, okay.
Top hat, umbrella.
Use the same outfit he's going to wear in here when he's running the boards on the Great Gatsby.
Exactly. There you go. By the way, you ready for your Great Gatsby outfit?
Yeah, I am. You know, Jay-Z did the soundtrack for Great Gatsby.
What?
Yes, sir.
JJ's going to have to go see it now.
I know, it's totally random.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gatsby looks interesting.
I read a fascinating story today, long story, on all the homes of the super rich in that part, North Shore, Long Island, what they were like in his it's allegedly imaginary home, which still exists. And they say it was not as opulent as you might have thought. According to F. Scott Fitzgerald, in this virtual home that that Gatsby has, he says it was not as opulent as you might think, although he was the king of excess and luxury.
Well, go see Iron Man 3 at the Marion Theater before Gatsby starts on Friday.
What a
because and we went to the 4:00 matinee on Saturday, and the theater was half full.
Ooh, that's good news.
So that's very good. So it's a great place to see it. So you don't want to see Iron Man upstairs on the little screen. See it this week downstairs before it leaves on Friday and Gatsby shows up.
Laurie Martin Gregory, she does our culture and our films and our health. It does it all right. Thanks, Laurie. Good to have you back.
Thanks. Good to be back.
Take a break. Come back. We got tweets and quotes to wrap up hour 2. Then we got sports coming your way. Stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Commercial Bank approval. Vehicle purchase across the fixed rate allowance.
So, whoosh! That's the sound of my broom working overtime, because this month I'm sweeping the streets of Ocala to rid the city of old clunkers so you can drive a nicer, newer car today.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. Right now, I'll give you a lot more over your appraised value for your old car. Even if you're still making payments, even the worst clunkers qualify, and nice cars too. So trade up to a clean car today.
Plus, my sweeping is keeping the bankers from sleeping, because my For the People credit approval process gives my banks and lenders more opportunity to help good people like you.
So wave goodbye to that old car you're stuck in and say hello to a bright and shiny, nicer, newer car today. Get a lot more over appraised value for your old car.
Even if you're still making payments, trade up to clean up today.
Hurry, once I get rid of 57 cars, this auto makeover is over. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people. Visit me at Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala or Bellevue.
Or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Betty Didon. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she's coming on to speak to us about the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Dr. Tracy Stevens and Julia Irene Kaufman will be on the air speaking about the Saving Hearts One Handbag at a Time Women's Heart Health Campaign.
And then on Open for Debate, I'll bring a topic to the program and we'll debate it.
Have all of your gardening questions answered by Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on You've Got a Garden.
And then H.W. Crocker III is coming out. He's a military historian. He's written for the Washington Times, and he's written a book. It's called The Politically Incorrect Guide to the British Empire.
Find out what you can do when your home or business is damaged from Joe Reichel and Rob Sobieski on Damage Control.
And then J.W. Winslow is coming on. She's an artist, a writer, a poet, and she's the host of 2 TV shows. She's also the daughter of screen legend Dick Winslow. She's coming on to speak to us about her books, The Mystic Adventures in Big Sur. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Attention U.S. veterans, if you're looking for work, you don't want to miss Workforce Connections Job Fair on Wednesday, May 8th. And in honor of your service, you will receive early admission. The job fair takes place at the College of Central Florida's Klein Center in Ocala. You'll be able to apply for jobs, tour the new mobile resource unit, and learn about Workforce Connection services. To learn more, visit us at workforceconnectionfl.com. Workforce Connection, your employment solution, starts here.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, welcome back. Before we do our tweets and quotes, just a little note about our friend Mark Emery. Such a brilliant guy. He's been working on this project, JJ, since we had him on a year and a half ago.
Yes.
But he's got a big show on deer. He's been shooting them all over the place. And this show, called The Private Life of Deer, will be, that's not DEAR, JJ. I know you're thinking that. It will be on Wednesday, May 8th on PBS Nature. So you might want to check that out. And you know Mark's work is so brilliant. If you get Cox or whatever, it's WFT Channel 5 in Gainesville. And, of course, you get, I happen to have, mine's different because I get DirecTV. You get DirecTV too, JJ.
It's down there, though.
Yeah, it's
not hard to find.
It'll be on in Orlando. So Mark Emery Films, brilliant man that he is. He has this great stuff. I've seen a lot of the stills already, and a few of the bites here and there. He has really done a major documentary about deer. It's called The Private Life of Deer. Mark Emery. Wednesday, I don't have the time on that, JJ. Maybe you can find it.
I'll look it up.
May 8th on PBS Nature. So check that out. There's a video here at the bottom of this. I'll check it out.
We saw a little bit of that video. Remember, he played a short of it at the Marion Theater.
Right.
8 o'clock, by the way.
8 o'clock. Good to know. Remind me, guys. Put that down as one we got to, Tom. We got to keep plugging and make sure we also going to tell you about the Florida State Seminoles event coming up too, because that's significant.
Do you know where these deer are at?
Well,
New York.
Suburbs
of New York.
Are they there, or they're all over?
It says producer Kevin Bachar on how the filmmakers of The Private Life of Deer tracked and filmed populations of white-tailed deer in the suburbs of New York.
Okay.
He goes all over the place, man.
Oh, yeah. No, he does. He goes around the world.
Alaska.
Getting ready to leave for Alaska soon, by the way, too. So, let's see. I'm having a little difficulty pulling up my tweets and quotes here because my computer's acting up, but we'll see if we can get it working. By the time you get it going there.
We can make up some tweets.
I got them. I just have to get it's being stubborn on me here today. All right. Number one. $1 million ideas or a dime a dozen. The determination to see the idea through is what's priceless. Number two, inspirational quotes. When you need something to believe in, start with yourself. And in honor of the Great Gatsby, this comment, there are people with money, and then there are rich people. Speaking of rich people, that's more than just your personal wealth. If you missed it, go back and check it out. The segment on 60 Minutes, a guy named Paul Tudor Jones. He used to be a hedge fund operator at young age of 30. Fantastic show. One of the best ever on 60 Minutes. It's called the Robin Hood Program, and it's why he raises all this money in New York. I mean, on one night, 4,000 people. JJ, Tom, he raised $57 million to go just for kids, mostly African-American kids, to give them a quality education. And he raises this money, and he, like they said, people throw their credit cards at his feet. Anyway, it's a great show. Be sure and check it out. Paul Tudor Jones, called Robin Hood 60 Minutes. All right, that wraps up the second hour of the program. Coming up in the next hour, we've got lots to talk about, including what happened at the Kentucky Derby and what about the NBA playoffs. We'll talk about that, plus a lot more on Buddy Sports Page next on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mama who never was around, but she grew up tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range. We usually hide somewhere in a neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will. And as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills. Just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, it's our business to make your business better. Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
1370 WOCA.
Accident, injured, hurting. Pain affects so many of us and keeps us from enjoying our daily routine. This is Dr. Riyad Fakuri, board-certified chiropractic orthopedist at the Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic Center. Let me visit with you to answer your questions. Let us help you help yourself on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on WOCA. Again, that's Dr. Riyad Fakuri, here to help you on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, I'm Fran Tarkenton, former NFL quarterback and member of the Hall of Fame. I know the importance of a game plan. A plan is the key to your success as well. Join me on Common Sense Retirement Planning Sunday at 10 a.m. on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM The Source. And call us at 855-770-7926 for a free consultation with my financial professional in your area. See you on the radio 10 a.m. Sunday here on WOCA.
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that's really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
That burst into flames in Northern California, killing 5 women, including a newlywed bride, says he's still in shock. Orville Brown says they were celebrating a beautiful occasion, and it turned into a nightmare. The cause of the fire is still unknown. A Worcester, Massachusetts funeral director still can't find a burial place for Boston bombing suspect Tamerlan Tsarnaev, so a community group is now raising money to have his remains sent to Russia. A Utah prosecutor says that he'll decide within a day or two what charges to file against the 17-year-old accused of punching a soccer referee who died after a week in a coma. Right now, he's in juvenile detention. The FDA wants cancer warnings posted on all tanning beds to warn especially young people about the increased risk of melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer. Meantime, pregnant women are being warned about taking migraine drugs, which have shown to decrease IQ scores in children. This is ABC News.
Never bet on a horse named Tripod. Never go cliff diving with a guy named Cliff. It's just too many cliffs. Never tell a zombie he looks like death warmed over. And never trust a car that hasn't been trusted to Midas. Save on brakes, tires, maintenance, and total car care. For a car you can depend on long after the warranty expires. You deserve the Midas touch. Get a comprehensive oil change, tire rotation, and visual brake check for $19.99. Up to 5 quarts conventional oil, shop fees extra. Most vehicles at participating Midas.
Hi, Tom Bodette. It's never been easier to book a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6. You can book online at motel6.com, use our cool new app on your tablet or smartphone, or call 1-800-4MOTEL-6 on your dumb phone. Sadly, you can't book by pigeon or Morse code, so if you want the lowest price of any national chain by telegraph, I guess you're just ... I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the phone house at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
All right, welcome to the Buddy Martin Sports Page on a Monday. What a busy sports weekend. Lots to talk about. Big fight. I didn't watch it. JJ did. Lots of NBA basketball. Kentucky Derby. Somebody you never heard of winning the PGA Tour event in Charlotte. NASCAR controversy. It's all bubbling over.
It was a fun weekend to sit on
a lot of sports. And we're going to talk about the headlines in just a moment, and we'll get to that. The Derby part of this was, interesting. I'll get JJ's take on it as a rookie watching his first Kentucky Derby, and let him tell you about that. Also, Michael Compton joins us at 5:30 to talk about the strategy of the race, what happened, how significant it is to have not just the horse Orb winning, but Sugar McGahey, who's a legend in Kentuckian, finally winning that elusive Derby, along with the Phipps and Janney family, which are two household names in Kentucky. So we'll talk about that. Also, tremendous performance by Hunter Thompson Turner's best friend, Joakim Noah,
friend of the show,
the guy that we never got on the air that Hunter promised we'd get a year ago. Still waiting, but maybe when he comes back, we'll get him on.
Going on 2 years.
Justin, his boy Justin is standing me up right now.
All right, we're going to see.
Manager.
We're going to see. All right, before we get into all of that, however, I have this little thing here. You guys always chastise me, and you always act like I'm an old codger who doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's dreaming when I suggest the possibility that there's a role for Tim Tebow someplace in football, and that maybe he won't win a championship, but he's got something special. And I'll just say this, and I'm going to read the story. When I saw him start playing football at Florida, the one thing I noticed about him, despite the fact he had bad mechanics, the moment he set foot on the field, everybody got into the game. The crowds got into the game, the players, the coaches. He seems to ignite this certain spirit about the game. And he did it at Florida very successfully. And he went to Denver, and he did it again in Denver. He never got the chance to do it in New York City. So we'll never really know. And I don't know if Tim Tebow could play in the NFL or not. I just know he didn't get much of a chance after that last outing. Now, this I bring to you, getting back to the point of he has a powerful influence in the game, on the field, in the stands. He was the story of the league 2 years ago. He was the story of the entire league. Like him or not. Now comes the news that Tim Tebow is not done, that he's still beloved and respected. He will be a successful broadcaster, businessman, evangelist, politician, whatever he does, he will be successful. Because why? He has great influence. Don't believe me? Well, Forbes magazine just did a poll on the most influential American athletes for 2013. It wasn't Usain Bolt or Michael Phelps or that quarterback in Denver who didn't win a playoff game last year. The number one athlete was, say it, guys.
Timothy Tebow.
Come on, say it. Tebow. Okay, so there you go. So he is. He has this awareness score of 48 points, 40, which is the highest. And according to Forbes, the fact that the people behind him were, including Derek Jeter. And by the way, number 5 was Peyton Manning, just to get that in the record. According to Forbes, his whole package of his strengths as a person, his affinity for wearing his Christian faith on his sleeve, and his unique set of quarterback strengths make him a compelling public figure, even as an NFL backup. Now, one more thing. Do you think maybe that the people in Jacksonville could have seen that? Do you think that might have been worth a couple of years? A team who's got terrible PR, going nowhere. Do you think that's worth a shot at least? I'm just asking, and then I'm going to stop talking about it.
I mean, you're going to lose anyway. You might as well sell some jerseys.
Well, the billionaire with the mustache that's got everybody talking in Jacksonville didn't want his ego to get crushed, so he didn't bring somebody bigger than him in. That's what happened.
I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, that's the story of Tim Tebow. Headlines, JJ.
Let's do it. All right. Big NBA weekend. Thunder ended up moving on. So did the Knicks. But Knicks lost to the Pacers yesterday pretty badly. They didn't really look like they had anything going the whole game.
Carmelo was what, 1 for 100?
Yeah, he did have 27 points, but when you shoot up that many shots, you should have that many. The Thunder barely squeaked a win past the Grizzlies thanks to Durant. Game-winning jumper. At the end of the game, they went to Durant every single time down.
That was a game-winning jumper, but the time before that, he made kind of a sideways, running left, shooting right. And that shot was so clean, that three-pointer just nailed it.
Sunk it.
And, I forgot at the time, I was thinking they were ahead. They were down by 1.
Yeah, they were down the whole game. They were down 8 with not too long left. We're going to really see how great Kevin Durant is.
That's right, because he's going to have to carry that team in situations like that.
Tonight, the Chicago Bulls start their series against the Miami Heat.
Joakim Noah,
Luol Deng, Derrick Rose, and possibly Kirk Hinrich. They will have Joakim. That's about all they have. Derrick Rose says he's not ruling out coming back this series.
He got the memo from Joakim.
BJ Carlissimo let go this weekend. Very strange move. I think sort of a head scratcher. He was 35-19 after he replaced Avery Johnson this year.
Not sexy enough.
Yeah, I guess. He came out today and said, I think short of winning a championship, it wouldn't have made any difference.
Never going to make a change there.
Billy King, the GM, was pretty candid about that. So who knows what they'll bring in. They have a lot of money.
Good luck, Billy King, finding somebody who have a better record. Let's see how it works out.
And I just had to put this in there. Vinny Testaverde, former Miami quarterback, to be honored as a college football Hall of Famer as part of the 2013 class. Buddy.
He deserves it. For sure, deserves it.
Speaking of future Hall of Famers and the Kentucky Derby, did you hear about Tom Brady?
I heard, which one? I heard a lot about Tom Brady.
When he bet $4,700?
No.
He bet
47
Orb with $4,700.
There's his number, 47.
He cashed a cool check for $25,000.
Well, obviously he obviously had Orb in there.
He did.
Yeah. I didn't. All right, one comment about Noah, then we're going to move on to other stuff and the headlines and whatever. I mean, you got to love that example of what he showed us. Yeah, first of all, he showed us how Billy Donovan was able to win 2 national championships. And we talk so much about execution and skills. And, and just like Tebow, I love Noah because I love his heart. I mean, they won that game in Game 7 in Brooklyn. And he went out on a limb and said, we're going to win the game. He didn't actually predict it. He just said, we're going to win it. And he backed it up. And he goes out there playing on one foot, battling the pain of plantar fasciitis. Mm-hmm. They say it's like playing on a marble on your sneaker. It's so painful. Damn. And he goes out there, he puts up unbelievable numbers and shots, everything goes in. 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 blocks. I don't know how many assists he had. I would got to say he had 7 or 8. I mean, he could have had a quadruple double the way he was going there. So anyway, what a terrific job by Joakim Noah. They're not going to get beat by Miami, but here's the deal. There's a difference in athletes playing hurt and injured. I don't know how bad Blake Griffin is. I'm not sure how bad these other guys are, including Derrick Rose. I don't know. I guess they know in their own mind. But I know this. I know that Joakim Noah had a lot of pain. He played through it. Set a great example. He didn't just show up. He dominated.
And to have the guy doing the complete opposite on your team, sitting on the end of the bench, it's just a total contrast of what
a joke
I would like to see an athlete and who makes millions and millions of dollars. And Joakim's he's not one of the least paid guys on the team, but he's not anywhere close to the money that Derrick Rose would be.
You think Joakim will never buy a drink on State Street again in Chicago?
You don't have to. And trust me, they're not going to miss him. He's got a very strange look to him, that's for sure.
All right, much more to go. You're coming your way right here on the program. We got to talk a little NASCAR. Tom, you got that thing nailed down? What went on there? We got to talk a little about golf and the unique thing about the victory in Charlotte, what that's all about. And we'll talk a lot more about whatever's on Hunter's mind today, okay?
Money Mayweather, too, of course.
That's right, the big fight coming up as well. And we'll tell you about Phil Mickelson, who keeps hitting fans all the time. We'll take a break, come back on Buddy's Sports Page after this timeout on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to
to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and a coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
We may not have the kind of winters they have up north, but Florida weather can be still pretty rough on your ride, and Ford Lincoln of Ocala wants to save you money and time during their Restore Your Ride service event. Right now, you can drive into Ford Lincoln of Ocala, receive a free brake inspection, and if it's determined you need brake work, you can receive up to a $50 rebate on any Motorcraft brake service when you use your Ford service credit card. And if it's tires you need, Ford Lincoln of Ocala's Completely Satisfied Service Center can hook you up with up to $120 in rebates on any of the top brands backed by their low-price tire guarantee. So stop chasing all over town for this service and that service. Get it all done right, the right way at the right place at Ford Lincoln of Ocala during their Restore Your Ride event. There's also great savings on Motorcraft batteries, wiper blades. You know, my dad used to say, don't wait till it's too late. Get it done now. Visit Ford Lincoln of Ocala's Completely Satisfied Service Center, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6, and Saturdays till 5.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Up to 20% of the brain's cerebral cortex consists of the same fatty acids found in fish, like salmon, tuna, and sardines. The number of ER visits due to caffeine overdoses, they've skyrocketed in the past decade. A growing number of victims are teenagers who consume so many energy drinks. People who are around animals every day, they feel healthier. They're also, get this, 21% less likely to develop colds and flu.
On the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Life's journey has many ups and downs, but you can take comfort in the knowledge that Robert's Funeral Home is here to serve you and your family with loving care and dignity. The Roberts family has been providing their caring services since 1898 and offer traditional, custom, cremation, and veteran services. Pre-made arrangements are also available. Roberts Funeral Homes. Great funeral homes serve great people.
Back on the program called Buddy Sports Page. Other interesting news. I see this story about the fact that the Nets are looking at Phil Jackson, among other people.
They can look.
Are you kidding me?
Everybody's looking at Phil Jackson. Remember, the Cavaliers wanted Phil
Nets
Jackson.
Not going to go.
I look at him. I don't think he's going to work for me.
No, I mean, if he might have gone and coached the Lakers. Maybe he might have gone, but they never gave him a chance. So here's a story that could be a little disturbing, and you think, where have you heard this before? And when is this going to stop? Now the CEO of the Dolphins says their future in South Florida is clearly bleak. Do you think they might be posturing a little bit? He got the brush off from the legislature. He wanted money. They wanted to have. Mike D said that to a station in Miami, said the Dolphins won't pay for any renovations to the 26-year-old Sun Life Stadium. Team officials were angry the legislature ended its session without approving a deal that would have provided taxpayer funding for the remodeling plan. Why should the taxpayers pay for the stadium down there? Why?
They already got screwed into it once.
Well, I know.
With baseball.
But that's the thing.
Gloria just did that.
This is why, and this is the only reason I think the Dolphins should get a stadium, is if you're going to give a horrible team like the Miami Marlins a new stadium, you should definitely give one of the most storied franchises in
I don't
the
know
NFL
whether
stadium.
how'd that work out, by the way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But you've already set a bad precedent by giving it to that.
Another reason not to give state dollars.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
No.
Well, I mean, you got a storied program in the NFL.
But they don't attract fans unless they're winning, and they haven't been winning in a long time. Dan Marino has not played there in a long time.
He says now that they can't do it without a public-private partnership. He says we have no intention of investing more. I mean, do you think people are, who are having a hard time paying their bills and getting jobs are worried too much about Mr. D and his stadium
and where the Dolphins play?
$350 million. These people don't live in the real world, man.
No.
I'm even thinking I don't know if they'll pass a referendum in our own town on a 0.5-cent sales tax to build a stadium for a minor league baseball team.
Right. And that's not the only thing that sales tax goes for.
In fact, they got to get it. First, the county's got to pass it, which they haven't done yet. But, I mean, if they get the money for these three projects, the only way I could ever see it happening is a multi-use facility for things besides Yankee minor league teams. Have to be other things it's used for, whether it's concerts, whatever it may be. But you can't support a stadium. We're not big enough to do that. I love the idea of getting the minor league franchise. I'd love the idea of getting the money to build these things and build Silver Springs. But I don't know whether the taxpayers are going to pay that. And I certainly know that if I was a taxpayer in Miami or even a taxpayer in Florida, I don't want my dollars going to build a stadium for the Dolphins. How much is that franchise worth, by the way?
I
have no idea.
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah, come on up a little. Yeah. So how about, should we say $300 million? I don't know how much.
$400 million.
I don't know. All right. So do you think they go to the bank and maybe leverage it and get a loan and do that? I mean, that's they got equity in this team.
According to Forbes magazine, the Dolphins are worth an estimated $942 million.
Okay, so we didn't miss that, but about $600 million.
Yeah. Oh, so, they could go get some equity.
So how about an equity loan? $600. How much? $900 million, and they want the taxpayers to build a stadium? Are they crazy?
They have revenues of $250 million.
Yeah, but they don't want to spend it on the stadium.
Yeah.
What? Excuse me. Who plays there?
Currently, the Dolphins are improving Dolphin Stadium with $250 million worth of debt. That brings the current debt to value ratio at 37%.
Yeah. Anyway, so that doesn't make sense.
So they would have to pay off the debt to bring that ratio to zero before they could do it. So
yeah.
That's
all right. That's just a little
good.
something I want to say, get on the record before we go too much further there. So, and not too good of news. By the way, coming up on the 22nd, we're going to be at Country Club of Ocala. Jimbo Fisher is going to be on our air. And I wonder at this point in time, I'm just going to raise this question, if there's a crack in the Gator facade in our town, because so many kids from Ocala now are going to Florida State instead of going to Gainesville. And if there's a chance for a fan base here, since University of Florida doesn't bother to send their head coach down here anymore, there's not a whole lot of love being shed around here for people in Barron County.
We're getting Jimbo Fisher on the show. We've had all three of the previous Florida coaches, or three of the previous Florida coaches, but we can't get the Florida coach.
Yeah, we didn't ask.
We wouldn't be able to.
We wouldn't get him, no. But we're not big enough. But I guess we're big enough. We're okay for Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier and Ron Zach
and Jimbo.
We're big enough. We're big enough for two guys with former NFL experience. One is an assistant, one is a head coach.
Multiple national champions.
Three of them as college head coaches. Multiple national championships. Jimbo Fisher, the highest paid employee of the state of Florida. But we can't get Will Muschamp.
Well, I'm going to say this to Coach Fisher. If you ever want to get a foothold someplace, this might be a good time to start talking about Ocala. You know, think about
Gator
it.
haters recently.
And down to the villages, even that area. So there's people here who are very upset about this. People think I'm making this up.
No,
I'm telling you, I know the temperature is out there. So if you ever wanted an opportunity to come to score in Marion County, this could be it. Well, we'll talk to Coach Fisher about that. It'll be the Seminole. I got to get that name right.
I got to think of something.
It's the Seminole.
I got it right here.
What is it? I got it written down somewhere.
I got it right
anyway,
here.
They'll all be at the.
It is the Florida State Marion County Seminole Club golf outing and dinner.
Right, and that's going to be out at Country Club, and we'll be there broadcasting that day, and we'll talk to some of the other coaches and some of the Seminole. And by the way, Gary Thurston, one of our most ardent fans of Florida State, he's a big supporter there. He'll be on the show this week. We'll talk to him about it. So we got his take on that. And we started back last year. We used to do the State of the State where we got more people. We got South Florida, UCF, other teams, and we'll continue to do that this year. I mean, we all love the Gators, and we'll follow the Gators, and we'll cover the Gators on it. But there's more. Well, we'll get more Miami on. I don't care. Get more Miami on.
We do. Well, Miami plays Florida next year.
So. Yeah,
well,
that's correct.
We'll have to get a good golfer on too, Berger Warner, who's a big Florida State fan.
Yeah, Berger can do it. Bring it. Okay, it's time to take a break, and we're going to talk about JJ's attempt to watch the Kentucky Derby, a rookie trying to figure it out, and we'll have the savvy veteran Michael Compton on at the same time and tell you all about that right here next on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for Renstar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Betty Dedon. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she's coming out to speak to us about the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Dr. Tracy Stevens and Julia Irene Kaufman will be on the air speaking about the Saving Hearts One Handbag at a Time Women's Heart Health campaign.
And then on Open for Debate, I'll bring a topic to the program and we'll debate it.
Have all of your gardening questions answered by Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on You've Got a Garden.
And then H.W. Crocker III is coming out as a military historian. He's written for the Washington Times, and he's written a book. It's called The Politically Incorrect Guide to the British Empire.
Find out what you can do when your home or business is damaged from Joe Reichel and Rob Sobieski on Damage Control.
And then J.W. Winslow is coming on. She's an artist, a writer, a poet, and she's the host of 2 TV shows. She's also the daughter of screen legend Dick Winslow. She's coming on to speak to us about her books, The Mystic Adventures in Big Sur. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Call me crazy,
Some people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I think insanity is 1,000 single-sided, full-color business cards for $15, or packing service for 50% off. Call me crazy. Green Sheet Printing on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Look for the yellow signs.
Don't get caught in the dark. Call Tri-County Generators, LLC first at 1-800-622-1957, your authorized Generac dealer. Tri-County Generators are there when you need them with new generators for home standby, commercial, RV, and portable generators. They also service your existing systems. Now is the time to act. Be prepared before you have an emergency. Call Mike Gant today at 1-800-622-1957. That's 1-800-622-1957 for Tri-County Generators.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's ocalaforsale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. Ocalaforsale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to ocalaforsale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Oh, it's what you do to me. Oh, it's what you do to me. Oh.
We're back on Buddy's sports page. About to go out to talk to Michael Compton about the Kentucky Derby. Morning line favorite, Buddy. Kind of held up. That's the first time a morning line favorite's held up in a while, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess that is true. Michael, is that right? How long's it been?
Yeah, I mean, I think since 2000, there were two morning line favorites. One of them was Fusaichi Pegasus in 2000. Yeah, usually the favorites, they tend not to run too well on Derby Day, and Orb did, and in the slop.
You know, to people who don't know horse racing, don't know about mudders, it really is an almost completely different race, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. We've watched all of these horses come up to the first Saturday in May, competing for the most part on dry, fast racetracks. So very few horses in this field of 19 had any wet track experience, and you kind of look to breeding for hints of it, see which sires and see which fathers and mothers of these horses basically did well in the off-going. And it's usually just a bit of a hint. You never really know until they run over that track. But Verrazano, for instance, he's such a big horse, a heavy, strong horse, and he's a perfect example of a horse who, just watching him run into the first turn, you could tell he wasn't getting a hold of the track. And Orb is kind of a smaller horse. He kind of skips over the ground anyway, and those horses tend to do very well in tracks that are muddy or sloppy. And that fast pace on Saturday really set it up for a closer like Orb, and he took to the track as well as anyone in the race, as did the two horses that chased him home, finishing second and third. But Orb really took to the track, and it does make it an entirely different race than we handicapped going in.
If they had not had the mud, how would you see that race finishing?
Yeah, at the end of it, at the end of the day, you're watching the race, and it seems like the best horse won. So many onlookers at the track in the 10 or 12 days leading up to the Derby had just raved about how Orb was coming up to the race. And at the end of the day, it's almost impossible to look back and think, well, if it was a dry track, it would have materialized differently. It very well could have, but that's to take nothing away from Orb, and he was the best horse on the day for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've never seen quite a run like that in the mud. I mean, to come that far back, in the mud, to make that move, it was like he had cleats or something, It was really
he really made it look effortless, and it was an expert ride by Joel Rosario.
It was.
And he sensed the fast pace early, and they were going much faster even than we talked about last week with Augie when we were handicapping on the show on Thursday. There were some speed horses in this race, but we certainly didn't think you would see almost suicidal fractions. That is, when they go so fast early, all the horses within those first 5 or 10 get so burned up just trying to keep up with that pace setter. And that's exactly what happened in this Derby, which I didn't foresee happening. And all of those speed horses backed up. And Normandy Invasion made a big move to get the lead at the top of the stretch.
Gave you a little thrill there for a minute, didn't he?
It gave me a brief thrill, yes. I jumped off the couch for a minute and sat right back down when I saw Orb. But it's typically those kind of moves that win the Kentucky Derby. So to see Normandy Invasion and his jockey Javier Castellano grab the lead at the top of the lane, and then he just really had no answer for Orb when he rolled up alongside. That's usually the kind of move that wins the Kentucky Derby, and over this track on this day, it wasn't.
Well, at least you saw your horses. I picked 3. I never saw them on the screen. So
yeah, Golden Sense, he sure didn't get the trip.
Verzano and, I had none of it. So, but anyways, listen, we had a rookie here who hasn't watched too much horse racing, who tried to watch on Saturday, and he wanted to know why he need all this time for just 2 minutes. JJ was...
Well, before I hate on horse racing, because I don't hate horse racing, I'm just very ignorant to it. Like the whole day when I was watching the pregame thing, all I could think about was that Seinfeld episode. His mother was a mutter. His father was a mutter. Right. But I just thought, man, there is a lot of pregame festivities for this one race.
Well, but starting Super Bowl Sunday, at 7 or 8 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Guys, right?
Yeah, and then I'm making fun of that, but I thought to myself, listen, about 10 hours later that night, I'm sitting at home watching Mayweather take 45 minutes to walk into the ring, so I'm doing the exact same thing.
Right.
But it was a good race. It was fun to watch.
It's the Super Bowl, for people who live and breathe this, and you just can't get enough information leading up to it, and it is a lot, and I think it's a lot for the fans that we try to convert into racing fans. It's so much information, and it's a lot to digest, and but all in all, it is a great day, and the most exciting 2 minutes in sports.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get a winner this year. Next year, hopefully, you have another Ocala horse back in there, and we appreciate all your expertise. Now you're counting it down to the Preakness. You'll be up at the Preakness in Baltimore in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll travel a week from Wednesday or Thursday and get a look at the horses, as they're leading up to the Preakness. And Golden Sense, Vijack, a handful of these horses that finished well behind Orb will be back to take another shot at him in the Preakness. And there'll be a new shooter named Departing who won the Illinois Derby, and he could prevent a bit of an obstacle for Orb. So I'm excited about the Preakness already.
Well, you should be. It's going to be a good trip for you, and once you bring us back some black-eyed Susans and, whatever.
Absolutely.
So. Michael Compton, MichaelWCompton.com. He's the best. Michael, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Talk to you later in the week. Thank you. Michael Compton. All right.
Your chair falling apart on you over there?
Yeah, it always does.
I've been through 3 chairs in the past 2 weeks, by the way.
Yeah?
Just going to let you know that.
I had an ergonomically correct chair someplace that my son took from me, so I don't know. Let's talk a little about the other things the weekend. JJ, what about the fight?
All right. Robert Guerrero, obviously not the toughest fighter for Mayweather fight, but he's been off a year. He did his couple months in jail. The last fight against Cotto, he kind of got banged around a little bit. It went all 12 rounds. He got hit a lot. Mayweather's not the guy that gets hit. He's, the very defensive, uses the shoulder roll a lot. Nobody ever touches him. So a lot of people are going to say, all right, he's 36 years old now. He's going to lose a step or two. His last fight, he looked bad. What's going to happen? Old Mayweather came out, and he was untouchable, buddy. He lost the first round on everybody's scorecards, which that's what he does. Feel each other out. He learns how to fight her.
Oh, they called it rope-a-dope.
Yeah, exactly. And he won 11 rounds right after that decisively. He didn't knock him out, but his hand was hurt halfway through the fight. He said it got swollen, but nothing broke. He said he should have knocked him out. But, man, he was looking like he was 26 out there, not 36.
So is the Ultimate fight going to happen ever?
No. He's fighting in September. I think this date's September 14th, which this is the first time he's fought 2 fights in 4 months in a very, very, very long time. People that big don't usually do that anymore. But now he has a big contract with Showtime that he has to fight a certain amount of fights. But they're looking at this guy named Canelo Alvarez, buddy, who is, the guy everybody wants him to fight right now. I know Pacquiao sort of is still out there, but he's lost the last 2 fights. He's not the same Pacquiao that people were talking about a couple years ago. Plus, that fight will never happen.
No.
Never happen.
I'd like to see it. All right, JJ, let's move on to other things now. And I don't know, I didn't watch the NASCAR race, but apparently pretty exciting, huh?
Well, you didn't have to watch the race. You just had to watch the last 10 laps, buddy, like I said last week. The thing about Talladega is you look for the big wreck and you watch the last 10 laps because you'll probably see both.
Yeah.
And that happened. They were running in a pack mentality with about 28 cars right there all bunched up together. And one car got squeezed up into the wall and came down in front of the field and hit Kurt Busch and immediately started Kurt Busch's car into a barrel spin that if he had not have landed on Ryan Newman's hood and roof of that car, at all of this at 205 miles an hour, by the way, he would still be flipping around the track right now. Danica Patrick had a good run going, nowhere to go. By the end of the melee, when the big one happened, David Reagan wins the race. Only half the cars on the lead lap, and they were all on the lead lap with 7 laps to go. NASCAR's restrictor plate races allow all these cars to be exactly equal, so you got to find little bits and pieces. They run equal. They run at speeds, and the reason they have restrictor plates is to keep the cars on the track. I understand that. If you didn't have a restrictor plate, they would become airborne flying around that track. There's so much horsepower. The answer is, instead of restrictor plates at Talladega and Daytona, 2 tracks where because of the track design, you do not have to apply your brakes. You can whip around through the turns because they're at 31-degree banking, so you can run with your foot down to the floor the whole way around the track. The only way you're going to make this race safer is going with a smaller motor. You could go with a 5.0 or a 5.4 liter engine, which is smaller. It would make it safe. It would still give you, and take the restrictor plates off. That way you'd actually have race cars racing each other. And you know who the biggest people that are angry over this is? The drivers. And the fans say, well, we love it. It's Talladega. They were wrecking. All I know is Ryan Newman seen a 3,800-pound car land on top of him. I'm not real sure as a driver, if you're driving down Silver Springs Boulevard, buddy, is there anything good about a car landing on top of your car?
Insurance policy. Yes, my wife.
If you survive.
Yeah. No, I said for my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
If I don't survive.
And that's the problem NASCAR's having, and they're going to have to do something about Daytona and Talladega, especially being that these are the super speedways are their premier event speedways.
I do like the super speedways. Don't you prefer the super speedways, though? I do like them.
I do. I enjoy them, buddy, but I got to agree with Tom. And one thing, too, I want to mention, the weather also played a significant impact as well. You saw a lot of the cars getting loose early in the race because of the weather. You know, it actually stopped on a delay, a red flag, for a while. I watched most of the coverage on Sunday, and it played a significant impact, not only in NASCAR, but golf as well. Golf was on a tape delay on Sunday as well.
Speaking of golf, Lefty let one get away. Man.
Bogey back-to-back
just
in the final
couldn't
3 holes.
get it going, and he hit the ball fairly straight for Lefty, and he had some good shots, but he didn't seem too discouraged. I think his short game is really getting up to speed. He'll be in the hunt this week at the Players, I do think. But who is this guy who won?
Derek Ernst. He was actually traveling in a car on the way to Athens, Georgia for a Web.com tour when he got a phone call that said, hey, we got a spot for you at Quail Hollow up here in North Carolina if you can make it. He was the 4th alternate in, got in, has to make an amazing shot on 18 as the rain started to come down on a hole that had only been birdied 4 times the entire tournament. He hits it within about 4 feet, makes birdie to get into a playoff, and then to prove to you that he knew what he's doing, they go to 18 for the playoff hole, and he hits another amazing shot in there to about 15 feet and wins the tournament. Let me tell you what he does. He goes from being 1,207th in the world.
Say it again.
1,207th.
Oh,
that means there's
1,206
golfers better than him.
I didn't know how high they went, but I never heard that.
In a car headed to a Web.com tour. Now he's going to be in the Players' Championship next week. He qualifies for 2 World Golf Championships, the PGA Championship, the Tournament of Champions next year at Kapalua, and the Masters in April.
I'd say
that's a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, he had
on his way to
kind
Athens.
of a weekend that Rick Pitino had as a week.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm off that Rick Pitino train. I'm done with that now.
Screw Rick Pitino.
Done there.
Dumb horse.
So Mickelson, I guess he had another fan. I see a tweet from Golf World saying Phil Mickelson hit another fan on Sunday at Quail Hollow. Lefty has a stash of signed gloves to give away.
Phil Mickelson's playing good golf right now. and I'm looking for, if the weather stays nice, the players needs to dry out, by the way. It's a soggy mess. They didn't even allow fans in today to the first practice round.
When the bridge 17 is underwater, you got some high water.
You got some issues. Last year, now, if you remember last year on Saturday, they had a torrential rainstorm come through Jacksonville that messed up some of the play, that put 17 in peril and everything last year. So the players, the one thing I like about the players this time of year is it's warm weather, which you don't like. You like it as a setup before the Masters.
I loved it the way it was before. Right. I wish it would go back there. It was just the whole time of year with the tournament going on, and the weather was cool and delightful. The course was great. I don't know why they ever changed it. I know why they did
it. To
I know.
The shadow of the Masters.
I've heard that, but I didn't. But the thing is, they used to be able to. That was the start of the golf season. Was the players,
right?
Now the start of the golf season is the Masters.
The trade-off is it's warmer weather, so more fans will come out, but it could also be more volatile weather and rain you out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. You agree, Hunter?
Absolutely.
All right, we will take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Franz Beard, get wrapped up on what's going on there, and we got about one more segment to go right here on Buddy Sports Page on a Monday.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little bit of something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none. We have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Commercial Bank approval. Vehicle purchase across the fixed rate allowance.
So, whoosh! That's the sound of my broom working overtime, because this month I'm sweeping the streets of Ocala to rid the city of old clunkers so you can drive a nicer, newer car today.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. Right now, I'll give you a lot more over your appraised value for your old car. Even if you're still making payments, even the worst clunkers qualify, and nice cars too. So trade up to a clean car today.
Plus, my sweeping is keeping the bankers from sleeping, because my For the People credit approval process gives my banks and lenders more opportunity to help good people like you.
So wave goodbye to that old car you're stuck in and say hello to a bright and shiny, nicer, newer car today. Get a lot more over appraised value for your old car.
Even if you're still making payments, trade up to clean up today.
Hurry, once I get rid of 57 cars, this auto makeover is over. I'm Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people. Visit me at Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala or Bellevue.
Or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige!
It is true that the smartest listeners listen to The Source, WOCA. And it's also true that the luckiest listeners tune into The Source. Or maybe lucky and smart go hand in hand.
I make my own luck. So do I.
Linda is a smart listener and also a lucky listener.
Hello, Linda. This is Larry at WOCA.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You are the winner of 2 3-day passes to Walt Disney World.
Isn't that funny? I cannot believe that. I can't believe I won, you know? Cool. That is so exciting. Yeah, that is really great. I'm excited.
You never know what prizes will be given away on WOCA The Source, but every smart listener knows that you make your own luck by keeping your dial set on Ocala's first news, talk, and entertainment station, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, WOCA The Source.
I make my own luck. So do I.
You've got a garden, and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Howdy,
folks. RL here to invite you to Dairy Queen for a great new meal. Dairy Queen's now serving 3 different $5 meals. Hot dogs with chili, cheese, slaw, whatever. Quarter pound with cheese, loaded up any way you like it. Solid filet chicken tenders. And each meal comes with fries, a drink, and a sundae for only $5. You got that right. Nobody beats that deal. A great value and a great meal. So come on down to Dairy Queen at Silver Springs, where they always treat you like kings and queens.
WOCA, Ocala.
Standing next to me. I belong, you belong in my street.
All right, back to the program. JJ happy to announce that Vinny Testaverde will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Seems like just yesterday that he was playing for the Canes. 30 years after his career ended, he's announced he's a member of the College Football Hall of Fame 2013. So Miami's got a few, Jim Kelly obviously being one of them. And excuse me. So looks like he'll be going in the Hall, as he should. He played a long time. Played a long time in the NFL and had a good career. Not as good, perhaps, as Buck fans would like when he played there, but nonetheless, had a good run. Time to go now up to Gainesville and talk to Franz Beard, who's probably sitting back counting his earnings from the Kentucky Derby, no doubt about it.
Unfortunately, no, that's not the case. I was going with Golden Sense, and Golden Sense kind of fell there at the end, while Orb, I got to admit, that was a terrific run by Orb there. You
got sucked into the Patino angle just like I did. So, but
exactly.
Anyway. Hey, what have you been following this Miami investigation now, and the latest on Frank Haith and all that stuff? And it's just, first of all, it's just such a mess completely. NCAA has just totally royally screwed that whole deal up down there, and now
they have. And the thing about it is he's guilty as he can be. The one thing about it is this is a guy that's probably going to skate, not because he deserves to skate, but because the NCAA just flat out screwed up.
Here's the latest one today. Apparently, they filed a petition to see how the records of Frank Haith were accessed during the NCAA's ongoing Devin Shapiro case. Now, here's the thing. There's no doubt something wrong with the money. He's obviously doing something with the money. But now they're going to say it was determined it was obtained illegally in order to get around that as evidence, Like you say, they're circling the wagons. And even JJ, who's a Miami Hurricanes fan, knows that it smells to high heaven down there right now. And the thing I can't understand is why it's taking so long.
Well, I think the reason it's taking so long is I think the NCAA thought they had struck gold there, and I think they thought they had everything. The more they dug, the more they found, and they just, it's kind of like finding that vein of gold that just, in the mine that just never ends. And I think that's why it has taken so long, is I think they came up with so much stuff. I think they had so much stuff that they didn't, they really didn't need to take any extra chances, and they did it. It was
the
really
problem
dumb
was
what they did.
Some of the stuff they got was from Nevin Shapiro. It was working for him, so that would be one little thing right there. So, well,
it doesn't matter that they got it from Nevin Shapiro. Nevin, people say, well, he's a felon. Well, yeah, but he had an awful lot of receipts and pictures and everything like that. He had a lot of proof.
Yeah, but he was working for them. He got paid.
Well, that doesn't really matter. That's not going to change the fact that there were all the receipts and everything like that.
I think the NCAA, excuse me, France, I think the NCAA's time is limited. I think that the death knell will probably be the college football playoff. They might hang on to basketball, perhaps, but it's getting to be college sports. I read the other day, college football now is the number 2 sport in America behind the NFL. Do you know that?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. That's how big it's gotten.
And we've, buddy, you and I, on some of these road trips we've taken, we have taken long, hard looks at the NCAA, and we've said on many, many occasions that one of the things they need to do is the haves need to have their own conference and let the have-nots duke it out for what's left. And it's what we're coming to.